supply chains. With President-elect Trump set to take the oath of office again in less than 2 weeks, he has also been talking about the U.S. trying to take over Greenland. There's ABC's Nicole D'Antonio.
Trump has discussed buying the Danish territory as a matter of national security, recently posting, "The U.S. feels that the ownership and control of Greenland is an absolute necessity." The Prime Minister has said Greenland is not for sale, and now the Danish king has changed the design for the royal coat of arms, one that has stood for more than 500 years, to more prominently display Greenland. President-elect Trump writing, quote, "Greenland is an incredible place, and the people will benefit tremendously if and when it becomes part of our nation."
Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck are now asking a judge to finalize their divorce after reaching a settlement. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Hey, it's me time at Chula Vista. Time for you to pamper yourself. Wisconsin's most complete resort experience has everything you want. Fine-tuned for 70 years by 4 generations of the Kaminsky family. Chula Vista can be easygoing with colorful scenic river walks, 18 holes of classic golf, a relaxing spa. Or you can go all out in 80,000 square feet of indoor water park. Ziplining through canyon views in Chula's Aerial Adventure Park. And dining comes any way you like it, from pizza to Wisconsin's #1 ranked steakhouse. More than 600 guest rooms to choose from, with $10 million in updates. Chula Vista, everything you've been wanting, all right here on site. Check it out at chulavistaresort.com.
Miles and miles of freshly groomed cross-country and hiking trails. Ski, sled, snowshoe. Warm up at our indoor water park. chulavistaresort.com.
I'm Lisa Hale with WGBW News. Your news in depth. Find it in the news section at WGBW.FM.
The Bucks win in Toronto. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. The Bucks dominated the Raptors, 128-104. Giannis Antetokounmpo needed stitches after cutting his right hand on the rim, then finished the night with 11 points, 13 assists, and 12 rebounds, his 4th triple-double of the season. Doc Rivers.
He didn't want to come out because he felt like he could finish, but it kept bleeding. It definitely was affecting him. You could see it really hurt his ball handling a little bit, just set the whole tone to our team. And when your best player does that, it becomes contagious.
College basketball, the Badgers with a Big Ten Conference win. On the road, 75-63 over Rutgers. John Blackwell had 21 points. NFL, Packers wide receiver Christian Watson suffering a season-ending torn ACL. The Packers face the Eagles Sunday in the playoffs after losing to the Bears.
You know, every game is a new game, every week a new week. It's all about your preparation, energy. 24 hours, this game over with. So, we got to prepare for next week.
That's Packers wide receiver Jaden Reed. With sports, I'm Mike Clemens.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. There was a lion's roar atop the box office this past weekend. Mufasa took first place on the big screen with a haul of just under $24 million. The Lion King prequel edged out Sonic the Hedgehog 3 on the last weekend of 2024. Sonic, which was tops last weekend over Mufasa, brought in just over $21 million for a second place, but out-earned Mufasa over the traditional 3-day weekend. Both films are entering their 4th week of release and showing decent legs. Coming in 3rd place this past weekend was Focus Features' Nosferatu, a surprise hit that has pulled in about $70 million since its release on Christmas Day. The film is now at $100 million globally. Rounding out the top 5 were Moana 2 in 4th place with $12 million and about to pass $1 billion globally. And in 5th place was Wicked with just over $10 million. The Bob Dylan biopic, A Complete Unknown, landed in 6th place for the 2nd week in a row with just over 8 million big ones. Great assortment of flicks in the theaters right now to help you combat the cold. Check them out. For more showbiz fun, tune in to Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Your news, conversations, and a whole lot of fun. It's all on your local Civic Media radio station or the Civic Media app.
I'm meteorologist Rodney Price. Stars, a few clouds around in the overnight, a light breeze, and by daybreak, temperatures will be close to that 10-degree mark. On Tuesday, a mix of clouds and sunshine, highs in the mid-20s. Mostly cloudy Wednesday, highs near the 20-degree mark. It's 12 at our studios.
Dom Salvia.
Next time, we go overtime with Maggie Dawn. America's mayor held in contempt of court. Former AG Brad Schimmel thinks Dems are guilty of lawfare. And will Wisconsin ever have binding referendums? Tune in.
The Dom Salvia Show. Weekdays 4 till 6.
Coming to Northeast Wisconsin live from the Civic Media Studios and featuring TV and radio broadcast veteran John Maino, along with the City of Green Bay's longest-serving mayor, Jim Schmidt. This is Maino and the Mayor. And here are your hosts, John Maino and Jim Schmidt.
Good morning. Nah. Back to the saddle.
What's that?
24-hour rule. I agree for 24 hours.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's okay. Is that going to hold next week, too?
No, that'll be the rest of the winter.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Get over it.
That was the Nate Bargatze, George Rush thing. No.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. Yes.
You know, I will tell you, like I said this morning before we came on the air, that I'm surprised the criticism the Packers are getting their coach. Come on. They lost the game.
They've been having this.
They're in the playoffs.
And LaFleur is just getting pummeled.
Yeah, he is.
And these same people that are doing it, if they knock off Philadelphia, Matt LaFleur. I wanted to say this before. Matt LaFleur is one of the bright young minds in all of football.
Underrated.
I don't understand how people don't see this.
Right.
Guaranteed.
But I don't knock off Philly. That's going to be tough. I mean, that is going to be tough. It's 5 points now.
No.
Spread. So
it might get to 7.
I might go out there. I don't want to bet against my Packers, but it is kind of.
I'm gonna hold back. If it's up to like 7, if it gets to 7.5, I'm loading up.
On the Packers?
And by loading up, it's $100. Yeah. Like, I'm putting 10,000 on this.
Right.
If it gets to 7.5, I'm loading up on the Packers.
Yeah.
That half point makes a difference.
It does.
That half point makes a difference.
Do you see some of the predictions on the score? It's a lot more than 7.
So what? I can make a prediction too.
Well, yeah. Okay. Hey, I was looking at, because the USA Today, I think, was it USA? Somebody picked the winners and not only the winners, which they picked the score, and the Packers, maybe it was 4 points, but a lot of it was 10, 12, 14.
I think they're going to come out and play a really tough game. I really and truly
do. They're playing for their lives.
They're playing for their lives. And, as far as losing that game to the Bears, that last game of the season, of the regular season for crappy teams, they play their best game of the year lots of times. Yeah. You know why? Because that's the image they want the general manager and the owner and everybody to remember.
They're playing for the jobs.
New England Patriots, worst team in the year in the league this year. They were horrific. They beat Buffalo.
Well, and
I know people are resting people, but it's still, you know what I mean?
Well, Kansas City.
Kansas City getting pounded. I know they rested people and everything, and the Packers didn't really rest people, and they should have.
Yeah, I agree.
But
that was.
You know what I'm going to go back to?
But anyway, it's going to be. I think it's going to be a fun game. I hope they're in there. That's all. Okay.
I'm going back to Christian Watson on something, and I'm not going to rip him for being so just gets hurt so. And I can't. Is Mark Houston coming in tomorrow, Todd?
Tomorrow, Friday,
Wednesday.
Is it
tomorrow, Wednesday? Does he? Oh, Friday. Oh, yeah. I'm never mind. But anyway, I want to know if there are if guys have something a little bit out of whack. What's the word when you're born with it? Congenitally?
Yeah, that would be.
Or you're like
congenital heart failure or something.
Yeah, it's
right.
Like congenital. Yeah.
Congenital. Like it's off.
Yeah,
congenital.
It's a little
permanently off though, right? Isn't that what that means?
But what I'm saying is,
look that one
I
up.
would like to, because I know we've talked about this, but Christian Watson has that one hamstring that's just not strong.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just saying, does that one negative thing throw off the rest of your body and make you susceptible to other injuries because of that?
Yeah.
I'm going to say yes, only because, when you're going through like physical therapy for whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, your other parts of your body are trying to compensate, even with your hip, right?
It's exactly
you
right.
Get pain in other parts of your body.
I have no lower back pain ever since I got rid of the hip. Since I got an artificial hip, knock on wood, I haven't had a single bit of that lower back pain I always used to get.
But when you do have pain, it does affect other joints in your body.
Exactly.
Too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's all connected. That'd be interesting. I don't like when we.
But what I'm saying is, but here's the deal, though. They had to go through a real special thing to find that out.
Yeah.
I mean, they went to Madison at the top level of, physical scientific research. And I'm just wondering how many even people, not just athletes, have a little something wrong they don't know about, and that, really rips apart a lot of the other parts of your thing.
I don't think the team is. I'm one of those guys that don't think one person is the team. So the fact that he's out.
No, I'm not saying. But okay. But how about this? He averaged 21 yards a catch. Nobody else came close to that. He was their big play downfield guy. Yeah. I'm going to go back to something I thought was a really bad coaching move, was the Saints game when they're killing the Saints, and he was still in the game late in the game. And that's when he hurt his knee with like about 2 minutes to go in the game. That's where he bruised his other knee. And what I'm saying is, I wonder if he was overcompensating for that knee injury, and because of that, blew out. I'm not trying to sound like a doctor here, but if because of that, he blew out his ACL just running down the field. He should not have been. I don't understand these coaches that play their star players in a game that is won, why they play them so long. For the life of me, I can't figure out the rationale.
Well, there's a cool story. I don't know what team, but the guy caught a pass or did something, and not only did he have a record, but I think it paid him like $1 million bonus or something. I think that's awesome. When
Jamar Chase,
I would play for that.
Yeah, for that. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I would too.
See, I think
I told you a story though about my buddy Red Batty told me, this is old school NFL.
That's old school though, but they to pull a guy.
Pulled the owner of the team calls down to the bench, talks to the assistant equipment manager to tell the coach to pull Earl Campbell out of the football game, so he wouldn't get his 1,000-yard and get like a $5,000 bonus.
Oh, ouch! You know what's funny? I worked at some radio stations like that too.
Yo, you and me both, my brother.
We'll move the bar a little bit before we give you that bonus.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
Wow.
So anyway, heading into that ball game, we're going to be talking to some people. You know, another guy I'd like to talk to about that, though. You know, I'm going to try to get on this week, Todd.
Who's that?
Lynn Dickey.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I still think one of the most horrific injury in all of pro football, the most needless injury, when the Packers were getting slaughtered by the Rams in 77 or 78. I don't remember which year it was. And he was still in the game in the last play of the game and gets sacked and fractures his leg so bad they said it was like a motorcycle accident. And he was never the same after that. One of the last plays of the game, they're getting beat 24-0. Why do you have these guys in the game? Why? What is that? You're playing your 17th game of the season, and these coaches will talk about, well, we got to get into a good. It's been 17 regular season weeks, for God's sakes. Yeah. How many do you need? Jeez.
I'd leave him. I'm
sorry, did I just sound like Bill Burr?
No, I'd play him. So I
was in this restaurant, and this person said something kind of...
and I just switched the words around.
I wasn't offended. Now, if you said these bleep,
right,
then it's an entirely different conversation. Just saying. Today is January 7th. It is cold outside. There's got to be a below zero wind chill, I would think. Green Bay 14, Appleton 14, Oshkosh 11. Wind from the north once again, but not as strong as it was yesterday.
But it is great not having ice or snow. This is like Tennessee weather. This is great. I'm grateful. I went out this morning and I do not like snow anymore.
Did you write that down on your grateful list?
I've
I do just the opposite.
Gratitude.
I write down all the things that pee me off.
No.
Is that wrong?
Yeah, it is. It really is. No, it's... Yeah.
I might have said something to my granddaughter I should have said last night.
Uh-oh. Careful.
Give me your opinion on this.
How old is she?
5.
That's very young, but what'd you say?
So shit, Grandpa, I got a little bit of trouble. Let's go. I go, well, so we had to take the lunch boxes, and me and whoever had to take them to so-and-so because it was our turn, and then we had to unload the lunch boxes. And the whole time I'm doing it, so-and-so, I don't know the news, Daly and so-and-so sitting in a tree. And I told him to stop. He wouldn't stop, and he kept doing it. So I pushed him down to the ground, and I had to go to the principal's office. I said, let me tell you something, Daly. I'm very proud of you for doing that.
I would have bet money on that response.
Yeah, I know. I don't. No, she's got to learn, John. That's not the last time she's going to get teased for doing the right thing. So,
right.
I'm not sure that was the best lesson, but see now. Next time she's going to push somebody down. Grandpa, you'll be proud of me.
Absolutely.
I'm expelled for 3 days, but you'll be very proud of me.
3 days? That's like nothing. I can do 3 days standing on my head. Forget about it. So anyway, today is bobblehead day. I thought Nikki's got a bobblehead right here in front of us that we don't have. By the way, I got to tell you something. So I almost called you
get those
last night. I
made.
actually tried getting hold of Nikki. Had a food question, a cooking question. I didn't want to bother you. I know you had stuff going on.
No, I mean last night.
So Brian Johnson brought in those venison brats yesterday. Okay.
Oh,
they
yeah,
were frozen.
I didn't see them, but
They're in
I
that
saw
bag.
Yeah, okay, that's what it was. All right.
I put them in the fridge. Forgot about it last night. I'm at my apartment.
And they're gone?
No.
Oh.
But it's like,
Okay.
But it's like, I hope
just
they're
know Con was here yesterday.
Yeah. No, I came down. They were now soft a little bit. They weren't frozen anymore.
So the question was, could you refreeze them?
Yes. It's no, right?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not saying it's no.
I would not.
Would not refreeze?
I wouldn't. How many do you have?
8.
So how were they?
You know what I would do? I'd cook them off.
I did.
Yeah.
But here's the deal. I've never cooked a brat that wasn't on a grill.
You know what?
I didn't know how to. You know what? I literally didn't know what to do. So I'd like look it up.
And they don't look as good. I'm with you on that. Brats. Would you fry them or would you bake them?
You know what? I boiled them for 20 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then I baked them for 20 minutes.
Not bad.
And they were good.
Yeah.
They're delicious. Oh my God! From Conups.
Yeah.
They are. I ate 2 of them last night right away. Actually, I had half one this morning before I came in. They're delicious.
Yeah.
They're like cheesy brats, venison. So they got that nice, good texture to
They
them.
put cheese in them?
Seems like it. I'll bring you one down if you want. They're cooked. I can run up during the break.
I'm with you on the grill. If they were on the grill, I'd
Yeah,
probably
then
take
I
one.
would have had no problem. Just would
Did
have put
you
them in.
have bread or buns or something?
No. Just ate them like that.
No, I don't want that.
You know what I put on a little? I don't normally do this, but I had bought the last time I was at Pelkins, Swamico-ish.
Oh yeah, yes.
Okay.
Right.
I bought a steak sauce that I forgot to bring up to the camp, and I had that there. It was a barbecue steak sauce. It was delicious on them.
Yeah.
Really, really good. I'm going to buy more of that stuff.
Barbecue sauce on brats?
I know. What's
No.
a steak sauce? Steak barbecue sauce. Normally you would say no, but I didn't have any mustard.
Well, yeah, okay. I don't know.
And that's the only thing I ever put on brat is mustard.
I wouldn't have cooked them. You know that?
You wouldn't have cooked them?
No, I would have waited till I had the right condiments.
What would you have done with them?
I'd cook them today, or else I'd go down to the store and come back. I'd go pick and save. I don't know, John.
I was hungry.
I see that. That's interesting. I'm trying to think if I ever had a brat that wasn't on a grill.
I
don't
never
think I have.
I've never had one not on a grill
thinking
before in
back,
my life.
Have I ever done that?
But when somebody help us out text-wise. Is boiling enough?
I go.
Yeah, as long as it's cooked, you can eat it, but you definitely want to throw that on a grill or something.
I know,
brown
but without a
something.
grill, I think I did it right.
You baked it, yeah.
You ate it for breakfast.
I'm good. We're going to start a quick break. Great show coming up. Stay with us.
This is the talk of Green Bay, WGBW.
I'm Dan Schaefer. Let's recombobulate. As 2024 comes to a close, we're taking our annual look back at the year that was, recapping our most read, most listened to, and most impactful stories of the year. If you're new to learning about the recombobulation area, this would be a great place to start to see what we're all about. This year, we covered the RNC in Milwaukee and the DNC in Chicago and broke stories that made national news along the way. We wrote about the fight for fair maps and covered elections in the state legislature like no one else. I wrote opinion columns and feature stories and conducted extended sit-down interviews like one with Senator Tammy Baldwin. I hosted podcasts and radio shows and, of course, joined the Civic Media Network, where you've heard me all over the airwaves for the last few months. This last year was discombobulating at times, but we did our best to make sense of it all, and we've got a whole lot more recombobulation in store for the year ahead in 2025.
Find all of Dan's work at the recombobulation area and on our website at civicmedia.us.
Hey there, it's Carrie Joy with your Work Money Minute. Central heat, the HVAC systems that heat your entire house. Man, those can really cost us an arm and a leg. And they lose up to 30% of their energy through the ductwork, plus more when we're heating rooms that we aren't even using. Well, one trick that can bring down your heating bill is to lower your thermostat and use energy-efficient space heaters where you really need the heat. I'm a little retro, and I like radiant heaters. Those are heaters that just heat a specific area in a room. On average, running a 1,500-watt space heater is going to cost you about 20 cents an hour. While running your central electric furnace, that's going to run you $1.37 an hour. So space heaters can mean real savings. However, if you use a space heater, make sure you follow the directions for their safe use. For more everyday money tips, check out workmoney.org. The next time, I'm Carrie Joy saying, take good care.
You're listening.
Hey, welcome back. Maino the Mayor here at 97.9 FM WGBW, 98.3 and 96.5 FM WISS in Appleton and Oshkosh. And I got to make sure I keep mentioning this, 1590 AM. Because I had a good friend out in Dykesville said it just isn't a good signal in Dykesville, but I think 1590 AM would be. Don't you, Todd?
Yeah, that should probably work for them.
Okay.
Otherwise, the app always works too.
Okay, he's 73. What do you think he's going to do, Todd?
I don't know.
Give me your call.
Get
what
that
do you
app.
think you're going to do?
Although,
what do you think? What do you think?
AM radio.
Hey, I got to tell you something. I want to get him on for our veteran segment.
Yeah.
He's got such a great story in Vietnam, getting pulled up in one of those, the things I'd be to just leave me here. I don't want to, because I'm afraid of heights. I don't want to do that. Where they put him up in the basket.
Oh, and he was swinging around?
Swinging around, hitting tree
Oh,
after
my
tree
God.
after tree, just waiting to get shot. We're going to give Kenny a call. Anyway, today is bobblehead day. Like I said, Nikki's got a bobblehead right here in front of us. I think she put that there intentionally just to basically say, hey, yo, guys, I got a bobblehead. Do you?
But you can. Those are so easy to get. You could get 3 or 4 bobbleheads, wearing different things. And
Todd?
No, you can. They just go online and get them. That.
Do you send them a picture of yourself?
Yeah, yeah, and they get it pretty close.
That's true.
Can you design your own body type?
I don't know about that, but I don't know if those are as
I'm
popular
going to be
as
long and lean.
they used to be. But
well, you know what though?
If you want a bobblehead, you can order one.
Where is I know it's in Wisconsin. Where is the Bobblehead Hall of Fame?
In Milwaukee.
In Milwaukee?
Yep.
I would actually like to see that, to be honest with you.
I was watching a John McGivern over the weekend. You know,
Yeah.
we were talking
Yeah, you
about
said
him.
that.
And he was at the Bobblehead Hall
Oh,
of
no
Fame.
kidding.
Yeah.
Hey, Todd, can we get him on the
I'm
show?
working on it.
That guy.
I
would be
want to watch
great.
all his stuff. That thing he did in Marquette was fantastic.
Yeah, he's got a great one in De Pere. I shared that with you guys.
Yeah, I
last
saw
week.
that one. You just sent that to us. Yeah, that was.
St. Norbert's is on there.
Does
right?
a great job, man.
Naomi Mose is on that one from De Pere.
Oh, is
Yeah.
she really?
Yeah.
Oh, man. We got to get Naomi on again.
Yep.
Yeah, that guy's got great energy. That would be fun to get him. I think he's super.
Today is Harlem
talented.
Globetrotter Day. They're coming to town. Or no, they were in town recently, right?
No, I think
Or
they're
they coming to town?
They come every January.
Yeah.
For
I
30
thought it was like
years.
New Year's Eve-ish they used to come to town. No?
You know what? I went there when the kids were little. Is it New Year's? No, I don't know. But they come here this time of around this time.
They're still entertaining, man.
they're
They're
great.
still fun.
They
I
are
remember
funny.
seeing them when I was probably 6 or 7. They came to Marquette.
And
that was just magical.
The bucket of water, and then it's
Absolutely.
confetti. And you got to get.
And that was Meadowlark Lemon. He actually, I was like, we were close in front row. And he did something.
Oh, yeah.
He looks at me and goes, something. I got scared. I'd never seen a large black man in my face before. And I literally got scared.
No, they do interact with the crowd. They are super talented. And they actually, when you look, they make a little bit of money too.
Do they?
Yeah, they do.
So they were at the Resch on the 30th.
Okay.
Oh, that was New
Yeah.
Year's
That's what I
Eve,
thought.
or
Yeah.
close to that.
Yeah. Today's also Pass Gas Day. Okay. You know, I could never figure that out when you're in the hospital and you got something. Have you passed gas? And then the first time the nurse said that, I'm like, why? It's like,
got a
no, it
bet?
wasn't me.
You got a bet?
It's him. Well, you're going to have to stay a couple more days then. I'm Not Going to Take It Anymore Day. All right. That, of course, from Network in 1976.
Yep.
Which was a huge movie.
Oh, that was great. That was.
Trying to think of the woman's name who was always, everything she was in, she was great in. Faye Dunaway.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We're the Clyde family, and we rob banks. That was a great movie. Her and Warren Beatty. Wow. Bonnie and Clyde. It's a great movie. Nicolas Cage is 61. Anytime I'm switching around and I see that Nicolas Cage is in a movie, I go to the next one.
Yeah, me too. I'm not a big fan.
Don't you just know it's going to be a crap movie?
He's just so weird.
So weird.
Weird to watch. His acting's weird, I think.
Yeah. Just, yeah. Kenny Loggins is 77. He's
a good one.
Boy, is that Caddyshack a million percent?
If you had a movie in the 80s, you had to have Kenny Loggins do your soundtrack.
You know, I could see you being something, though, Todd. I'm going to be honest with you.
Okay.
When they were really big, you go to a bar, 40% of the guys have their hair going down over their shoulders and a little bit of a beard. And
I did not.
And the shirt out kind of.
Yeah, not me.
Remember that
No.
look? That was the look that they had.
I don't know about the shirt, but I can see the.
But they all had that. They had that look.
Yeah.
That was where the unshaven look first became popular, and the hair just down below the collar a little bit.
When those songs came out, I didn't have a beard. there was no facial hair at that point. A little younger.
David Caruso, 69 years old. There's a guy. Remember when they said, "Boy, did he ruin his career because he left CSI?"
Yeah, one of those shows.
No, NYPD Blue. He left
You're right.
NYPD
You're
Blue,
right.
and they said, "Wow, biggest mistake anybody's made." Then he finds this thing called CSI, and he's been doing it for 20 years, or did do it for a lot of years.
Have you seen him lately?
No.
Yeah.
Why? Rough?
Let me grab a picture here.
No, it's if the guy I'm thinking of, he doesn't get. Well, I don't know. I look at. I don't know who he is.
David Caruso, red hair.
Yeah, no.
Oh, you've seen him a million times.
That's who I thought it was. He does not get good reviews
for what?
Acting.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really.
I don't know. Boy, I saw a thing the other day. This girl that used to be on like Baywatch. She was a Sports Illustrated supermodel. She's unbelievable. Living on the streets in L.A. Got completely addicted to meth. And she's like, I don't want any help. I don't need any help. I'm fine. And she looks hideous. I mean, she'll be found dead someplace. Yeah. But people have reached out. She was gorgeous. She was unbelievable. Blonde swimsuit model. And she's now a street person and a bag lady living out of a shopping cart like you can't believe. And she refuses to take any help.
So according to this, and I may be wrong, former wife of Baywatch star Jeremy Jackson.
Yes.
Her name is Lonnie Willison?
Yes. Yes. You see the before and after?
I see. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jim.
Yeah.
I don't see it.
I didn't even think they were the same person.
No.
I thought one of them was a guy.
No, yeah. It's I've never seen somebody. Yeah.
That's her on the left in the blonde with the coffee.
And on
that's
the
her
left,
right.
she's just kind of casual. They're getting a cup of coffee versus how she looks like on the Baywatch type things. And that's her on the right now. Is that amazing?
I thought that was a guy.
Yeah.
That's mental health.
Well, I know. There's not even a question. But then throw in the meth.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That, wow.
Yeah. So.
That's too bad when there's help and they just.
She'll refuse it.
Yeah. But they have the right to refuse it.
Well, they do. But I'm just saying it's like, here, so many people would give anything for a helping hand when you're there. And here they're out. And she's like, nope, I don't want it. I'm okay with this life. Isn't that crazy?
Yep, it is.
Wow. All right. When we come back, a little out down the road here, Ron Metzler from the Optimist Club, talking all about what they do in the community. They are very, very active. Kevin Spencer, Master Illusionist. That's going to be fun from the Grand Oshkosh. Dr. K, Revamp HRT. Talk about a healthy new year.
There you go.
And I'm going to give him my opinions, too.
Dr.
I
K.
could help him out maybe a little bit. I got some ideas. And Laura
You're pretty
Wiegert,
smart, dude.
Fox Cities Chamber of Commerce, who's awesome. Back after this.
W. You can always continue the conversation on social media. Share your thoughts when you find and follow Civic Media on Facebook, X, and Instagram.
It seems a hot topic the past few years has been the use of renewable energy instead of fossil fuels, and this includes wind energy. I'm Ben Jarbo at the Midwest Farm Report, and Pete Morris, a Grant County resident who hosts group informational sessions about wind energy projects, is here to explain some of these projects that are popping up in Wisconsin.
Really, we've seen an influx, particularly in southwest Wisconsin, of potential wind projects. Badger Hollow project just got submitted to the Public Service Commission. That's located in the Montfort area down in Grant County. And there are actually 4 different energy developers who are actively signing up lease agreements across Grant County. And so it's a very hot topic in our part of the state. For a lot of folks, the first time they hear about it is maybe when a neighbor or somebody close to their residence or farm has signed up, and it's the first time they've maybe heard about these projects. And so we're trying to help educate folks and help them make informed decisions.
Morris says that if one of these projects gets proposed to you, not to completely disregard it right away, and to make sure to do all the necessary research to make an informed decision on whether this would be beneficial for you. From the Midwest Farm Report, I'm Ben Jarbo, and we'll take a look at those markets right after this.
Did you know soybean diseases like white mold and sudden death syndrome can survive in your soil even after rotating crops? Prevention of these diseases is a constant battle, and yield loss from an infection can be devastating. The right management plan makes all the difference. Keep your beans safe this spring with Heads Up seed treatment. Heads Up guards your seed from both white mold and SDS. Stay protected and profitable by asking your seed dealer for Heads Up. Learn more at headsupst.com.
Make the best of wintertime fun at the 4th Annual Sun Prairie Frozen Fest, January 29th through February 2nd, presented by the Bank of Sun Prairie. It's a fantastic opportunity to enjoy a variety of winter activities like the Puzzle Contest, Cardboard Sled Classic, Winter Beer Garden, Bonfire, Hibernation Hustle 5K, Pancake Breakfast, and the 77th Annual Groundhog Day Prognostication. For more about Frozen Fest, log on to cityofsunprairie.com.
Now let's take a look at what the markets are doing this morning. Cash crop corn is down 4 1/4 at 453.5, and new crop corn is down 2 1/2 at 443. Cash crop soybeans are down 10 cents at 482.5, and new crop is down 9 1/2 at 1003.5. Cash wheat is down 5 at 535.5, and new crop wheat is down 4 3/4 at 556 1/4. Class 3 milk contracts for January are down 4 cents at 20.60 a hundredweight, and Class 3 milk for February is down 5 cents at 21.07 a hundredweight. From the Midwest Farm Report, I'm Ben Jarbo.
Enjoying this local program? Find the complete Civic Media lineup at civicmedia.us or the Civic Media app.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. A mix of sun and clouds today and a high in the mid-20s. Partly cloudy tonight, lows 5 to 10 above. And mostly cloudy for tomorrow, maybe a flurry or two, a high around 20. Mostly sunny in mid-20s Thursday, some flurries late. Currently, it's 12 degrees.
Hey, it's John Maino.
And Jim Schmidt from Maino and the Mayor.
Want to stay in the loop with all things Northeast Wisconsin? Sign up for the WGBW weekly newsletter.
Get the latest local stories, updates on the weather, and a special feature from our Maino and the Mayor podcast.
It's your one-stop shop for real news and great conversation in Northeast Wisconsin.
Log on to WGBW.FM today and get signed up.
Real news, great conversation. Sign up today at WGBW.FM/newsletter. Nightlight with Pete Schwaba.
I drew my brother's name one year, and we went to the mall, and I said, hey, while you're in there, grab me a Christmas card. We're doing the gift exchange later. So he walks upstairs, gets the card, hands it to me. I sign it, Merry Christmas. Love, Pete. And that was my gift to him that I made him pick out, pay for, and retrieve. He's like, you are the laziest, cheapest. It was absolutely beautiful.
Nightlight with Pete Schwaba. Weeknights from 6 till 8 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the Civic Media app. Maggie Dawn.
Next up, I'll break down all of the hidden symbols and why Beyonce Bowl on Christmas was so important in this political moment. Next.
The Maggie Dawn Show. Weekday afternoons from 2 till 4.
For WGBW and WISS News, I'm Lisa Hale. Aurora Healthcare clinics and hospitals are reinstating mask mandates for visitors at all Wisconsin locations. Visitors are required to wear masks when in contact with patients or in designated areas. Wisconsin health officials are on high alert as respiratory illnesses such as RSV, influenza, and COVID-19 are on the rise throughout the region. Aurora has clinics and hospitals throughout northeast Wisconsin, including Green Bay, the Fox Cities, and Oshkosh. A man died after crashing into a tree, and a 1-year-old child was found in a smoke-filled home Saturday night in Neenah. Neenah police say the officers were sent to the 800 block of South Park, where a vehicle's engine and dashboard were on fire. An unconscious man with traumatic injuries was removed from the vehicle and taken to the hospital where he died. The child was found in the man's apartment. The baby did not need medical attention and was released to family members. The incident remains under investigation. The Green Bay Public Market is on track to open in the summer. Ryan Johnson, president and CEO of On Broadway, said right now tenant recruitment is his main focus.
It's not a food court, and I think that's really important to emphasize. This is about bringing in a lot of different types of products, whether it's a fish, a butcher, a baker. Our goal in this facility, you're going to have prepared food. That's what makes the most successful markets, but it's about striking that right balance. And if you don't have the right tenants, it's a lot harder.
The public market will be able to house up to 20 vendors and provide year-round access to fresh produce and other goods. The $18.3 million project is expected to have a yearly economic impact of $65 million. I'm Lisa Hale for WGBW and WISS News. For news anytime, visit civicmedia.us.
Miss part of the show or want to share it with a friend? Check out the Maino and the Mayor podcast at civicmedia.us and on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Take Maino and the Mayor with you everywhere. Now, once again, Maino and the Mayor, John Maino and Jim Schmidt.
Hey, thank you very much. Welcome back. Maino and the Mayor here on a cold Tuesday morning. Once again, 14 in Green Bay, 14 in Appleton, 11 in Oshkosh. And we got a wind there. I just know about 7 miles an hour from the north, Todd.
Let me look her up. Right now it's saying no wind.
No wind. Okay. It was blowing when I came in about 7 miles an hour.
You had your hood up this morning.
It was because when you walk
Washington Street
in this corridor, and that wind is coming off the bay, whoo,
yeah,
that is a vortex. What? It is.
It's windy. Because I walk right.
The reason
as soon as I get to Washington Street, you're right. It's like, wow, it's cold out.
Let me just tell you something, Jim. I'm reading this novel, this book. But this guy in New York City, he's a Wall Street guy, yada, yada, yada. His dad was a Vietnam vet. And it's a good novel. It's a novel, okay? It's called Up North.
A true fiction?
No, it's just fiction. Okay. But even being fiction, guys from New York. And it talks about walking from, like, the subway in New York City to his office and how bundled up he has to be because when that wind is blowing down whatever street Wall Street's on, he said it's a vortex, how much colder it is right there. And that's what you have on Washington Street. I think, don't you?
I don't. It's windier on Washington Street. I don't know how much it has to do with the bay.
Well, the wind's coming from the north. I mean, when it comes from the north, obviously it's coming from colder water. Yeah. It's a vortex, Jim. I know vortex. I did a science project on vortex one time.
Our friend from 26, Cameron.
Yeah.
Get him on.
Okay.
He's an expert.
All right.
They all are, but he would be, okay. Is it a polar vortex?
Is it a polar vortex?
When you when you cross Washington Street. Okay, that's a good question. Yeah. The answer's going to be no, but okay.
Why do you say it's going to be no?
Because I think he's going to say it's windy because there's not as much things blocking it, right? There's no buildings. And I think it makes a wind tunnel.
Yes, it's just same as a vortex. That's what a vortex is, Jim. A wind, you know what you're trying, okay, when Ford or Chevy or whomever tests their cars in wind tunnels, they create a vortex. And that means that all the air is like it's almost like a bottleneck type thing, where it comes in that way. Okay. And because of that, it gets a lot stronger.
Okay, well, Cameron will be on and he'll explain all to us.
Which one of us had meteorological classes in college?
Me, but I don't know that. I think neither of us.
I knew people who did.
Well, I know.
So there you go.
Vortex is a whirling mass of fluid,
such as water or air, that can also refer to a state of affairs that resembles a whirlpool. A whirling mass of air.
A vortex is a whirling
That's what we
mass.
have on Washington Street. Huh?
It says air. Such as water or air.
Yeah, and that's what it is. It's a vortex. I know, Mike.
It's whirling? I think it's just windy. Whirling is like it said, the whirlpool. It's turning like a little tornado.
It whirls, man. I was down there by the heights the other day. It was whirling. Like you can't even believe. So I'm just saying.
Okay.
All right. I'm just saying. Hey, one other thing I want to talk about.
Yes.
One other thing I want to talk about. And the last time I mentioned this game, okay, is anybody out there going to the Packer game in Philadelphia that has not been to a Packer game in Philadelphia before? And I want to know how you expect it to be. And are you going to are you going to represent? You're going to wear a Jordan Love jersey and all those guys?
Got to.
And I'm not, somebody just texted in, quote, whatever street Wall Street is.
True.
Thanks, Brian.
I didn't mean it that way, Brian. Wow.
That's hilarious.
What's funny is that it passed.
Must feel good, doesn't it, Brian?
That just went
Brian,
over. Todd and I just went
Brian,
over our head.
Hey, Brian.
Whatever.
Hey, Brian. There's nothing more exhilarating than pointing out the shortcomings of others.
Yeah, it's 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah, it's 6:30 in the morning, Brian.
If you go to the Eagles game, well, if you go to any away game, you got to wear the corporate colors.
I know,
right?
but the Eagles fans are really, really nasty. I'm not trying to scare people. I'm just saying, are you going there, and how do you expect it to be? And was anybody out there ever at an Eagles-Packers game, especially with this much riding on it?
Yeah.
You want to know what the low moments in Green Bay Packer history has been in my life?
The Giants game, for sure.
3 of them.
Because that Giants game was awful.
Brian Bostic missing the onside kick. Okay.
Did Seattle, that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the 4th and 26.
Philadelphia.
You
know what? That was in 2003 or 4. 3.
Yeah.
That is when my man Nathan Poole, right? And his birthday's on February 2nd.
That got us into the playoffs.
Right. And his birthday's on February 2nd, which was the same day as the Super Bowl. And I thought, how fortuitous, this is all going to come together. And I'm going to be with him at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And then,
4th and 20 bleeping 6.
Yeah.
That one and the other one, the Giants game.
Oh,
I know, but you got to give the guy credit for kicking a field goal and making it in those conditions that night.
Wow.
I mean, he did. In these other games, the Packers screwed up.
They
Brian
screwed up in
Bostic
that
screwed
game.
up.
They screwed up, and then they had, 5 open receivers?
Well, I know. But
I just think that game, and the other thing is that it's all at it's worse. I don't want to say this. It has a bigger impact at a certain point in your life. And remember, I had my tickets to the Super Bowl. I had my hotel reservations. I was going to see my godfather.
I was on when Brian Bostic.
That's why that one bothers me more.
When Brian Bostic let that onside kick go through his hands, I was on the phone. I was on the phone calling my brother to see if I could stay with him in Tucson for a few days if I went early for the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
I was on the phone talking about I'm coming to the Super Bowl.
That's the kind of stuff that really makes you disappointed.
My other one was it 98 in San Francisco? Jerry Rice fumbled. They didn't have replay, and they called it, no, it's Jerry Rice. We're not going to – I'll never forget that. Packers would have won. And then they throw that Hail Mary pass, basically, to Terrell Owens. I was right in the back of the end zone when that happened. I could see the ball coming.
Wow.
Steve Young slipped going back. He's down. He didn't. Regained his footing. Nobody got to him. Threw this pass. 2 Packers right around him. Neither one made. Pat Terrell was one. I don't know if it was Leroy Butler or somebody else was the other one, and they didn't make a play on it, and Terrell Owens just easily caught the ball. I'll never forget that. It's like, why aren't you defending this? And they stood there. Who caught the 4th and 26? Wasn't it Freddie Mitchell? Yep. What has Freddie done since then? Nothing. Basically never heard of him ever again. Yeah.
Who was defending that? Was Burnett in that deal?
It's further down. 4th and 26, you're talking pretty deep downfield.
Oh.
I got to think Darren Sharper. I think it was Darren Sharper and
Leroy. Did they let go of coach after that? Somebody lost their job because of that, right?
I don't remember.
Yeah, somebody did. Scapegoat, but that was awful. I remember that. Now that you bring that up, I still think that Giants game, and I don't know, people maybe don't want to talk about the past as much, but that one, I was bummed out for a long time.
I was too.
And I wasn't watching TV, and then they went on to play New England, right?
Yeah. And beat them.
And I wasn't watching the game. Yeah. I was so depressed. You know, and I'm not like that, but I really was. I'm not watching
You know what
TV.
I remember that game the most?
And I remember my wife saying, Jim, you got to come down here. He goes,
Yeah.
This
That was a great game.
Yeah.
Thing I remember most, that's when Ted Thompson gave me his box. I had a bunch of guys that had just come back from Iraq up there. Okay.
Yeah.
And next was Coach McCarthy's box. And he had his whole family up there, nephews and nieces, and they were all crying.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll never forget that. It's like, okay, to us it's a game, and as much that family was crying.
Of course, yeah. I can see that. Anyway, how's he doing?
Well, did you see the Bears are asked for permission to see him? To talk to him?
That's not a good idea.
Why?
No. He's very well respected here in Green Bay, and I think that might go down a notch if he goes to Chicago.
Worse than going to Dallas for that crackpot Jerry Jones?
I think a lot of people are defending Mike McCarthy over. They know he's in a dysfunctional organization, so I think people are like, You know what I mean? I don't think people are mad at him for that. I am surprised he's staying. I would leave.
Dallas?
Well, you bet I would.
I think
be like,
I would.
can't
At
work
this
for
point,
this
I would
nut
too.
job.
I'd like to see him in Chicago, to be honest.
I think that'd be fun.
I do.
Yeah, I do.
Because I actually think he could help them. And Jim, you're the one.
You're
who's
the
like,
big Chicago
Yeah,
advocate.
you're the big
You're
supporter.
the
of
Bears
Chicago.
fan in sheep's clothing.
I would have to call
To be
him.
honest here,
I
call it out like it
would
is.
call him.
He's got his Bears garanimals on underneath right now.
Underneath.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't see that.
But they reached out. Has Jerry Jones come out with his meeting with him yet to see if he's got a job next year?
Well, he said he's made the decision. He just hasn't announced it yet. Because
Well,
he wants them calling him every day, and he wants to take away from the playoffs. He wants to take away from some
Oh
of these
my
college
God!
games.
Give me a. Jerry Jones doesn't want to intrude on the rest of the NFL.
No, what I'm saying is the reason he's dragging this out is for the attention, and he's.
So he gets the
So he
attention.
gets the attention.
Oh, I thought you were saying he didn't want to take the attention away from their team.
I know him better than that.
I was going to say, boy, is that a 180 of who he is?
No.
I mean, he's the closest thing we've had to George Steinbrenner.
Yes.
Closest thing.
But haven't you worked for an organization and just you were doing a good job, and you're just like, I can't work for this nut job.
Todd? Todd, could I have a bell? Could you give me one, please?
I'm just surprised a guy talented as McCarthy is staying there. But whatever, he's making a lot of money, but he doesn't need it. I would not, I'm too much, let's say that's not the right way to say it, too much respect for myself, but I would not work for someone that is dysfunctional. I just wouldn't do that. I would be like, you know what, I'm going to find something else. I don't care if I'm flipping burgers. I'm not going to work for this nut.
I agree. And I really and truly do. I mean, when you're, 33 years old and you got 2 kids, 7 and 5.
Totally different. Or 3.
Or 3, and you leave that.
We all
You don't know where the next
tolerated it.
paycheck is coming from. But when you've got $100 million in the bank,
right,
or whatever number you want to even come up with.
He doesn't have to work.
He doesn't have to work. I totally agree with you on that. I'd say bleep you, bleep you, bleep you. Who's next? Bye.
And then you want to make a little money? Write a book about this.
Absolutely.
Wait
a minute, though. Wait a minute, though. You were in his box.
I like
literally
Jerry
made
Jones.
your wife a drink. He made done. Jerry Jones himself went over and poured the bourbon.
Wow.
Right?
Wine,
or whatever it was.
It was a bourbon.
Yeah. Or
But
whatever.
yeah, he was
But I mean,
very.
He went over and he physically
I've met
did
him
it.
a number of times. Yes. Yeah. Okay. That's true. I'm not going to deny I was in his box.
So you wouldn't work for him, but you'll drink with him.
you'll drink
What you're saying?
It was great food.
Donna, grab some of those linens. They got the Cowboys logo on them. They're embroidered.
They did.
God, where's your...
Wouldn't that be great?
He had
Damn
stars.
it, Donna. I told you to bring the big purse today.
He had
What the hell's
stars.
the matter with you, Donna? We could have loaded up. Load it up.
I think we took a couple things.
I bet you did. Did you ever take anything from the White House?
Yes, I did. Just napkins, but yeah, I did.
Well, everybody takes a napkin, I guess.
Yeah, you can.
But they say people always look
they're in
around
the
for other
bathroom.
stuff.
Well, they're in the bathroom. Those are really, really nice. Like towelettes. They're not cloth, but they're not paper. That's like a non-woven. But yeah, they have those in the bathroom.
I bet you wanted that gig when you're in the paper industry, didn't you?
We didn't make those. Yeah.
Steal them. Steal as many as you can, people. They'll have to buy more. Maino and the Mayor. Back after this.
You're listening to the Talk of Green Bay, WGBW.
You're listening to the American Democracy Minute, keeping your government by and for the people. The Voting Rights Act of 1965, Section 2, included opportunity for communities of minority voters to elect the congressional candidate of their choice by creating a majority-minority voting district. In 2025, Alabama, for the first time in history, has 2 black members of Congress. It wasn't easy. Alabama's population is almost 27% black, yet the state had only 1 majority-minority congressional district out of 7 after the 2020 redistricting cycle. Voters sued under the Voting Rights Act, and in 2022, the U.S. Supreme Court in Allen v. Milligan determined the legislature had intentionally diluted black voting power. Alabama's federal district court ordered new maps, which the legislature and governor defied, refusing to create a second majority-minority district. Finally, in October 2023, the court chose a map drawn by a court-appointed expert, which included a second black district. Black Alabamian Shamari Figures, son of civil rights activists, won the 2nd Congressional District 55% to 45%. The Milligan decision was long-awaited justice for black Alabamians, but a Supreme Court decision in a South Carolina gerrymandering case may narrow already weakened Voting Rights Act protections. We have more on the Milligan decision and its consequences at AmericanDemocracyMinute.org. I'm Brian Beadle.
Matt Nair on air. This shouldn't be a thing.
Hot Dr. Pepper is the hottest holiday drink, but is it any good?
Jane, I'd like to answer that question.
Yes.
No. Have you ever had a hot soda in your life?
Yes, they're terrible. You can also do apparently 80% eggnog and 20% Dr. Pepper.
Get out of my country.
Matt Nair on air. Weekdays 10 till noon on your local Civic Media radio station and on the app.
By this?
68.
That's a great song.
Great song.
1969.
Great song. That was a great era for music, 68, 69.
Yeah,
I mean, stuff that holds up over time.
Yep.
It really is.
Yeah, that's...
Todd, I think you and I should do a podcast.
Okay.
On music. Like that. Almost like a Casey Kasem thing. But a little trivia about the different artists and the different things. And
That's
time you ran
interesting.
into different people, even if we have to make it up.
Right. Well, you would do that. I'm having, on my Lean Local show, I'm doing a show on the music scene of Green Bay and how it's evolved.
That's awesome.
It's going to be great. And
I think
I'm
it's
gonna
awesome.
tie in a little bit country, a little bit
And
Christian,
you know what we still
but a
gotta
little
do,
bit
though?
more the opportunities of venues.
But what we
which
need
is
to
cool.
do is,
That's
and they're
what's
reaching out to us, they
changed.
said they'll come down here and play the movie for us. We still got to watch Green Blah.
Yes.
The documentary on the local punk scene.
Right.
We got to do that.
Yeah. No, I just think that's a cool thing because I think music, like you and I both agree, is part of our culture and it's part of who we are and how that's evolved. But even though the music has changed a little bit, I'll give Green Bay and Appleton just a lot of credit for having different venues for these people to perform.
No
like
question.
The Carlton and the Meyer Theater.
Well, okay,
it doesn't all have to be
but
this.
that goes back a long way, Jim.
It does.
In my first book, Front Lines, what I did, I researched like crazy. Even a review that a newspaper somebody did on it said, wow, tremendous research. I would go over to the library and I'd go through that microfilm hour after hour after hour after days. And I mean, like, you can't believe, because you'd get distracted. You'd find an article. It's like, oh, this isn't. And you just read it.
Right.
But what I did is I did all the different things going on in Green Bay the night before the attack on Pearl Harbor on December 6th. All the things that were happening. There had to be at least 30 bars, nightclubs, whatever you called them, that were having live music that night. Had to be 30 in downtown Green Bay. It was incredible. And one of them was at Don Hudson's Palladium, where he had the bowling alley and I guess the nightclub upstairs and everything like that. Does anybody know what building? Any local history? Mary Jane Huber would know. What building was Don Hudson's? I do think he had a car dealership that was in what is now Gather on Broadway.
Yeah, that was automotive. I think that was parts. That was cars.
I thought somebody had told me that was Don Hudson's.
Okay. I mean, there were definitely that was an auto place. I don't know that there were cars in there, but okay. That's
Maybe
cool.
Daryl would know. Daryl Burnett.
Yeah,
hey,
he would.
he's in kind of like a local movie.
What?
Daryl
Is he in that with
Yeah.
with this guy? The guy who's saying
No.
Okay.
No. And part of it was shot. I saw the excerpt. He did a great job. Shot at the Automobile Museum. And I saw some excerpts. And the thing is, they were asking for extras, I think, today. And I thought, oh, my God, this would be perfect for me.
Yeah.
It's set in like the late 70s, early 80s. So if you have clothes that would go towards that, to wear them.
They're filming a movie in Green Bay?
Yeah.
Right now?
Yeah.
The
I'm
Palladium.
not sure I knew that.
The Palladium was at 114 North Adams Street.
114 North Adams. So what would that be that garage? No, that's on
No, that would
Broadway.
be like Delilah's.
Oh, that stretch. What would be a big enough?
114 North or South?
North.
Okay, so yeah, that
Okay,
would
there's
be
the building.
Angelina's, right?
What does that look like to you? Oh, is that Schauer and Schumacher's or whatever? What is that? 114 North Adams Street. Somebody go out and walk past it right now. Tell us.
Okay, so you got Walnut Street, and then you go to, if you're heading west, you take a right on Adams. That's the 100 block.
Okay.
So that's where you are.
So that's the whole Delilah stretch then?
Yes.
Okay. Wow. Okay. There we can see the bowling, Palladium. That's awesome. Don Hudson's Packer Palladium.
Well, that's Schauer and Schumacher.
That's what I was thinking. With those windows, that's what it looks like.
Right.
That's a cool building.
That's a very cool
Why
building.
isn't anything in that really
It
cool
needs
building?
a lot of work. A lot of work.
Inside?
Yes.
I love the windows and the doors and all those things. Those look so cool. But the inside, all new, like plumbing, probably, and electrical and everything.
Yeah. Somebody wanted to buy that and tear it down.
Well, who keeps painting the windows?
And that's us.
Okay.
I mean, that's the city.
Is that just a beautification or just kind of a...
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's nice paintings. It really is.
Reduce the criticism. Yeah.
Okay.
But the city owns that. And the only buyer that we had, serious buyer, wanted to tear it down and make it into a parking lot. And of course, we said no to that. That's a cool building, but it's we talked about that.
I know.
Restoring
it's easier to knock them down and start over.
It's unbelievable how expensive restoration is.
Yeah.
But it's worth it.
That little corner just can't get any traction, huh?
Right.
Both ways, it seems like Adams and Walnut. That's a tough little corner.
Mm-hmm. It is. And it used to be the corner.
And it's got that beautiful City Hall building right across from it.
Courthouse. Yeah.
Courthouse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Work to do.
Work on that.
It's a work in process.
And by the way, I was joking when I said that beautiful courthouse. I mean, the courthouse is beautiful.
Yeah,
the
it
other
is.
one, the city, your old office building.
That Soviet style?
Yeah.
What, are you being critical
The
of City
Soviet
Hall?
block, the Soviet block building. That looks like kind of place I'd hate to be questioned. That looks like East Germany.
If they take you in there,
East
in
Germany
handcuffs? Yeah.
in 1957.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
East Germany. What was their secret police called? East Germans. There was a name where it just kind of scared you by their
Gestapo?
name. No. The East Germans then. It was Russian, basically. I can't think of the name of it. But that looks like the kind of building you'd be brought to be
and the wisdom
interrogated.
of the wisdom of the people who were making decisions at that time. Did you see what they tore down to build that?
No.
Unbelievable, beautiful City Hall building.
Really?
There's a picture of it, a blueprint of it.
What year would this be?
Probably then, 57.
Okay.
58. Yeah, I would say that 57. I think it's just the bad decisions.
It's the coldest looking building,
Right, and that's
you'd ever expect for downtown Green
and
Bay.
that's City Hall.
Yeah,
And-
City Hall.
I mean, you go to San Francisco. No, that's the
Is
courthouse.
that the one that was torn down, or is
Is
that the current one?
No, is that the one that was torn down?
That's the City Hall. Green
Can you
Bay.
believe that, John?
The one that's currently?
No, that's
the one they tore down?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. That would be the nicest building in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
With those pillars and
Right.
the whole thing? Oh, my God. They tore that down.
It did. And look what they built, though. That Soviet style.
We may be sending you to a gulag for these parking tickets. Oh, boy. Hey, and we come back. Ron Metzler, Optimist Club. Kevin Spencer, Master Illusionist. And Dr. K is going to help me lose 40 pounds.
There you go.
Listening to the Talk of Green Bay, WGBW, home for the Maggie Dawn Show.
Jane Matnair and Greg Bach.
Coming up on the show, some Republicans don't seem very enthusiastic about continuing to fund the IRS. Why would that be? We'll kick that around. Join us.
Matnair on air. Weekday mornings at 10. The Maggie Dawn Show.
Here's what the WSJ had said after J6. This week has probably finished Donald Trump as a serious political figure. Boy, that hasn't aged well, has it?
No, not at all. In the Wall Street Journal. So after what they just said 4 years ago, Maggie, they couldn't bring it upon themselves to say that guy who did that shouldn't be anywhere near the White House again. Nope, couldn't do it.
The Maggie Dawn Show. Weekdays from 2 till 4 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the Civic Media app. This is your local Civic Media radio station. Want to hear even more? Anytime? Find all of it at civicmedia.us. This is 97.9 WGBW Denmark, Green Bay's real news and great conversation, a Civic Media radio station.
ABC News, I'm Sherry. Preston, police are trying to figure out how and why two people made their way into the landing gear section of a JetBlue plane and died there. Their bodies were found last night at the airport in Fort Lauderdale during a routine maintenance check on the plane. The flight had originated at New York's JFK airport. We're learning more about the planning that went into the deadly New Year's terror attack in New Orleans. ABC's Trevor Ault is on Bourbon Street.
Surveillance video shows the suspect placing a pair of coolers at the scene ahead of the attack, where he appears to be on his cell phone before looking up to wave. Inside those coolers, law enforcement say they found steel pipes surrounded by 24 rolls of nails and a radio-controlled receiver. Authorities also discovering jars of flammable liquid inside the white Ford F-150 he used to barrel into those Bourbon Street crowds.
The massive snowstorm that stretched from the Midwest to the Mid-Atlantic left 9 people dead and hundreds of thousands without power. This is ABC News. Later this morning, the remains of President Jimmy Carter will be moved from the Carter Center in Atlanta to Capitol Hill, where he will lie in state in the Capitol Rotunda. On Thursday, President Biden will deliver the eulogy at a state service at the National Cathedral. We now have the first known death from bird flu in the U.S. Details from ABC's Ariel Reshev.
The patient, who was over 65 with underlying health conditions, had been hospitalized in Louisiana since mid-December after being exposed to the virus through a flock of birds in a backyard. The CDC analyzed the virus in that Louisiana patient and found concerning new mutations which could help the virus infect people more easily. But so far, there has been no evidence of human-to-human spread.
And CES, the biggest technology trade show in the country, getting underway in Las Vegas. Generative artificial intelligence is expected to be all over the place. NVIDIA has already introduced new ways to train AI to drive cars. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Are you ever questioning when life will slow down? Are you ever thinking of just relaxing and enjoying the simple things? All of this is possible, even while still being in the workforce. Worthington, Minnesota is a town growing, yet it's nothing like metro life. Professional and labor jobs, a beautiful lake, bike trails, recreation, acres of public hunting, festivals, and great people. Slow down. We're just a short drive away, so come join us. Worthington, it's worth a look.
Join Lou Rugani for the Music of the Stars every Sunday morning from 7 a.m. until noon. Lou brings back the nostalgia from the golden age of radio with the music, drama, and comedy shows that made radio magic. Music of the Stars is sponsored by Lakeland Care, providing personalized support that aims to improve quality of life and maintain independence for elders and those with disabilities. It's the Music of the Stars, Sunday at 7 on 97.9 FM and 1590 AM WGBW, Talk of Green Bay.
I'm Lisa Hale with WGBW News. Your news roundup in quick podcast form. You can find it anywhere at the WGBW website, WGBW.FM.
The Badgers win on the road. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. Men's college basketball, the Wisconsin Badgers with a Big Ten Conference win at Rutgers, 75-63. John Blackwell leading with 21 points. Head coach Greg Gard after the game.
We know we're always in for a battle when we come here. Life on the road in the Big Ten is very difficult. So when you can get road wins and lead wire to wire like we did, a really good team win and obviously a lot of contributions from across the board.
NBA, the Bucks snapped a 2-game losing streak with a 128-104 decision over the Raptors in Toronto. Chris Middleton sitting out with ankle tendonitis. NFL, Matt LaFleur says that Packers wide receiver Christian Watson suffered a torn ACL in Sunday's loss to the Bears. Watson will spend the next year recovering.
I know he'll attack it the right way. He'll handle the adversity. It'll just be a bump in the road for him, and I think he'll come back better. That's just how he is built. That's how he's wired. There'll be good. It's just going to be down the road.
That's Matt LaFleur with Sports. I'm Mike Clemens.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. Actor Craig T. Nelson belted out the national anthem before the Bears-Packers game on Sunday. The actor stars in Green and Gold, a film about a farmer who bets on the Green Bay Packers to save his Wisconsin farm, part of which was shot in Door County. The 80-year-old actor complimented the Packer fan base and called the opportunity of standing near the Packers logo at Lambeau Field an absolute thrill. Green and Gold hits theaters January 31st. Frontmen don't do humble, but today, I was. Those are the words of U2 lead singer Bono, who received the Presidential Medal of Honor from President Joe Biden last weekend. Other recipients of the award went to Hillary Clinton, Irvin Magic Johnson, Bill Nye the Science Guy, Michael J. Fox, and conservationist Jane Goodall. Bono was the winner of 22 Grammy Awards in his career. The White House said he was selected for the Medal of Freedom due to his tireless work against HIV and poverty. For more showbiz fun, tune in to Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Local radio for you and your community. It's Civic Media's mission with stations across Wisconsin. Find your favorites at civicmedia.us.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. A mix of sun and clouds today and a high in the mid-20s. Partly cloudy tonight, lows 5 to 10 above. And mostly cloudy for tomorrow, maybe a flurry or two, a high around 20. Mostly sunny in mid-20s Thursday, some flurries late. Currently, it's 12 degrees.
Pete Schwaba.
On the next Nightlight, Tim Dennis, host of the Darkness Radio podcast, joins the show. Then we talk about the Milwaukee comedy scene with Comedy Sports head coach Mike Kauth. Let's light it up Tuesday style.
Nightlight with Pete Schwaba. Weeknights from 6 till 8.
Coming to Northeast Wisconsin live from the Civic Media Studios and featuring TV and radio broadcast veteran John Maino, along with the City of Green Bay's longest-serving mayor, Jim Schmidt. This is Maino and the Mayor.
Begin the day with a friendly voice, a companion unobtrusive.
And here are your hosts, John Maino and Jim Schmidt.
Hey, thank you very much. Welcome back. Hour number 2 of Maino and the Mayor here, 97.9 FM WGBW, 98.3, and 96.5 FM WISS in Appleton and Oshkosh. And, of course, the Civic Media app and the Green Bay area, 1590 AM. And, of course, you can always download us on the Civic Media app.
Oh, we got it all.
We got it all.
And I tell you what, we talk a lot on this show.
We talk a lot on this show.
We do. It's a
Wait,
talk
I
show.
gotta do one thing. Michael,
I get interrupted
our man
a lot
Michael,
too, Ron.
the secret police, he said the Vux Polici. That might be their normal police. I looked it up. The Stasi, S-T-A-S-I, was the secret police and state security of East Germany from 1950 to 1990. It was one of the most repressive police organizations in the world. Their headquarters were downtown Green Bay, Wisconsin.
in that Soviet-style building.
Yeah.
I think that
they
building's
really cracked down on illegal parking, man.
All right, I want to introduce our guest because we talk about Greater Green Bay. We talk about all this award-winning best place to live, Northeast Wisconsin. And one of the reasons is it's because of the social organizations we have here, and predominantly the Optimist Club. I mean, there's, 7 branches just here in Green Bay? We've got Ron Metzler with us, who's the president of the Downtown Optimist Club. I've known you forever. Just thanks for what you're doing.
Well, thanks. I'm a co-president this year.
All right.
Hey,
you know me. I'm never
I just
shy
walked
about
through the polar vortex here. And I don't know anything about. Okay.
Neither does John.
I don't know anything about it. But Jeff, I need to apologize to you, Mayor, because I should have been on last week when Mr. Maino was trying to tell us that all of us in the 70s and 80s who had curly hair and would just shake our hair, instead
that was you,
all carried around picks. John, maybe in Nagani, but I've been hearing. Are you kidding me?
Well, it was a lot more humid in Nagani, though, so you needed that to shape it.
Okay, I'm not going to say I know what happened in Nagani, but dude, hair picks, those scared me when I did see one.
Oh, they were you could use it as a weapon.
You couldn't go.
I mean,
to
they were
school
metal.
with
The things,
right?
Things
Those
were
picks,
metal.
those
forks,
or what do they call those? What do you call a fork thing?
Yeah, the points.
The
of
tines. The tines.
Tines. I couldn't think of that either.
Okay.
Thank you,
They
Tom.
could
Well, Ron. Anyway, welcome.
Sorry about that.
Well, yeah,
glad
Optimist
you're
Club,
fine.
we try to do as much as we can, but you guys, for I don't know how many years, have been such a fixture for this area.
What is the Optimist? There's branches all over the United States, but what is your focus, your motto, your mission, your vision?
I got to tell you, I looked up the official thing, and it matches exactly what all these clubs you're talking about are doing. Our club, the Preble Club, the Alloway Club, right down to the Appleton Oshkosh. So what are we? We're the friend of youth. That's the short version. But then I got the long version, and the mission to bring out the best in youth, our communities, and ourselves. And then here it is, the official purposes. And listen to this, because it matches exactly what we're doing, and I kind of can't believe it. The organization is over 100 years old. My club is 77 years old.
Wow.
Some of my members are
some of them are charter members. We were at one of your lunch things.
Just wait. I can explain to our listeners.
Oh, man.
So they're not. I don't know if they're charter members, but Johnny and I went there to do a presentation about civic media, and this is what we're going to do in Green Bay. We're going to kind of inform people about all the good things that are happening in Northeast Wisconsin. And a couple people fell asleep.
Well, not totally. Just kind of.
And John's like, "Oh, they're getting old." I'm like, well, "Maybe we have to brush up on our presentation."
No, you're fine.
We didn't know if we should talk louder to wake them up or softer so they could sleep.
50 years they've been working. Okay, so you're gonna hear how this ties in. So you look it up. What is it? The purposes: encourage the development of youth, to promote active interest in good government and civic affairs, to inspire the respect for law, to promote patriotism and work for international accord. So that's the big picture,
awesome.
right?
That's
so then that ties right in. It ties right in. This
I mean, anybody can have a mission statement, but do you walk the walk?
Right, and they do.
I couldn't believe it how well these clubs do. So you got over 2,000 clubs, and thank you. You got over 2,000 clubs. You got over 1,200 in the United States or worldwide, mostly Canada, places like that. And it's interesting. You can either do what the Optimists have been doing forever, or you can do what you want with youth. And right here in Green Bay, we got amazing examples.
Yeah.
The old guys, right?
Yeah.
And women. We have men and women who do great in our club, getting all kinds of people, all ages, or best we can anyway, the younger people. There's been an oratorical contest for giving out college scholarships.
Absolutely.
The organization has done since 1928. My club's done that thing since 1952.
That's beautiful.
Have you seen that? Those kids that win? John, that's unbelievable. I'm surprised you didn't do that when you were a kid. Maybe they didn't have that in Nugani.
No, we did not have
those
the
kids that
Optimists in
win.
Nugani.
I've heard their speeches because you've invited me to them.
Or else he'd have been a lawyer. I believe.
We had the VFW, the Rod and Gun Club, Tracy Local Mine, Elks, Eagles, and who's the other big one back? Are there still the Eagles? Is that still a thing?
I don't know.
Or the Elks? Are they still a thing?
Don't know, but I played for the Elks in Babe Ruth.
I hated the Elks when we played. I can still think of the guys on the Elks team.
Dislike
them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ron, how's the Optimist?
Hey, one of them went to prison for like 6 years.
Hey, Mayor, I got you.
Yeah, good luck.
Mayor and I are talking about that.
And just to remind you, Ron,
I want to talk.
And you come in here with some authority. Ron is a retired attorney in Green Bay who's done so much from the legal profession, but you're also a judge. So, John, be careful.
I had him on my retainer when he was an attorney.
Hey,
Ron, what are you doing?
So, all right. Let's go. Let's the vision, the mission.
Yeah, so
I think that's awesome
these
what
clubs,
you're doing.
Yeah, so you do the things that the people have done forever. The oratorical contest, like I mentioned, the essay contest, communication. Now all of a sudden you have a communication deal where people who are going to sign, and it's a communication thing. So you get into that. But you're talking about 6,500 service projects a year. All these clubs do $78 million towards youth.
Wow.
6 million youth are reached each year. So what does my club do? The oldest club in Green Bay, 1947. We do some of the old and some of the new. And that, I think that's my main pitch today. You can do the oratorical contest. You can do all the sports. We've run a baseball league, right?
Absolutely.
Buddy, Mr. Madigan. He that league we've run since 52 or 53.
Wow.
And now girls softball.
I'll tell you what, though, youth baseball, you want to talk about I want to say underrated, but you want to talk about a great heritage of the Green Bay area. Youth baseball over the years, and some of the teams that used to turn out, and the number of players that were involved. I don't think I know of anybody my age in this area, or our age, or whatever, that didn't play youth baseball. Great facilities, great coaches. That was a big thing in Green Bay, wasn't
and that's
it?
because of the Optimist Club. I mean, really, you guys put lights in a couple stadiums, and you've built stadiums and benches and concession stands and
hundreds of thousands of dollars. Our Optimist Club stuck into some of these parks. Of course, our friend Dan Madigan leads that. Yeah. He now turned it over because I'm big into softball the last 20 years. He now built a concession stand for the city out on the Finger Road.
When I used to come to Green Bay when I was a kid, and we'd sit at the old Devroy Motel, and we'd go, remember that? Devroy? On Velp? You didn't remember the Devroy Motel? They had a bowling alley?
Wrong side of town.
You don't remember that?
That's right.
All right. But anyway, I remember we went to a baseball park. It's like, oh my God, these fields compared to ours were so pristine. I mean, they're just good facilities they had for the kids here.
And that Finger Road that was a landfill, and you guys fixed that all up. I mean,
the city and the DNR and the paper company fixed it up, and then the Optimist Club,
made it.
Yeah,
you're an East Sider?
Put the stuff up.
You're an East Sider?
Big time.
Cool. I didn't know that.
Green Bay.
Oh wow. Was Preble its own separate town when you lived there?
No.
Okay, I think the stat. So I moved.
Were you born there?
No,
Preble.
Okay, so in 1961, my family moved into town, and either look it up about 62 or 63, they voted to consolidate the town of Preble into the city of Green Bay.
And I'm just going to tell you
So
why I would know that. As Sports Illustrated had an article one time. I'm going back to about 1963 about Ron Vanderkellen.
Oh yeah,
Preble grad. played for the Badgers, had an unbelievable game in the Rose Bowl in '62, and then he was the quarterback of the College All-Stars back in the days when they'd have the NFL champs play the College All-Stars. And see, the last time this ever happened, he was a quarterback, beat the Packers in the College All-Star game. And okay,
I'm sure they stopped playing because of that.
No. But here's what I'm getting at. I still remember, I got that weird thing when I read something I remember. I still remember saying he was from the town of Preble, just east of Green Bay.
Okay, there you go. Here's what happened. The reason why you have Green Bay Southwest High School, Green Bay East, Green Bay West, fine. Preble High School was opened in 1955. It's his 70th year, and then of course years later, within the next 10 years, you consolidate into Green Bay. That's why we're still Commodore Preble, by the way. Preble, that's where it came from. The name came from. That's where the name came from.
See, and what an example of Preble in voting to become part of Green Bay, help run a more efficient government. And I think maybe Alloway and Ashwaubenon and Hobart and Howard should follow that cue.
Oh, man, that's a different day. Let's talk.
Why don't we make a call real quick?
Why don't we?
Let's call my buddy on Hobart and see if he'd like to join.
Ron, you came to a lot of my State of the Cities. Do you remember that State of the City I gave like 15 years ago? And I said, let's unify by 2025. That was my call to action. And it just blew up. But
you needed a police escort on the way out. I think I remember.
Remember that? Aaron Rodgers made a comment on his show about Hobart. It was like a little play on words about Todd. Did you see that? Aaron,
I didn't.
Try to look up Aaron Rodgers. He was on the Pat McAfee show, and he was talking about where he lived in Green, talking about Hobart, and he mentioned something about. I think it was basically getting high in Hobart. You got. If we can find that, you got to hear his quote.
I know that John Gruden would always talk about over there in Ashwaubenon.
Remember Joe Namath at the Rosewood, the Ashwaubenon Jaguars.
Anyway, all right, Ron. So you are helping the youth in this community. What are some of the current things that we would know?
Oh, the good stuff. So, we do the baseball, the softball, the Just Say No to Drugs. We go into house school quite a bit. Respect for Law is big. We give out college scholarships. We run a golf program. Some of those are old and some are new, but I called a couple of my buddies because I love the people at Preble. I'm a Preble guy, but I'm in the Green Bay Club. I have contacts in Alloway. Talked to David Tim yesterday. They do the old stuff, but they do the new stuff. You talk about the Preble Club. They run that huge Respect for Law.
Jim was there this year.
We were there. That was fun.
Huge. And they make money. It all goes back into the kids.
Right.
They believe in and so see how it ties back to the Optimists International.
And even at that,
for Law.
you give out awards to young kids.
Absolutely.
It's back to their mission, what they do for the youth in this community, and that's why we're living in such a great community. Hey, when we come back, we're going to take a very quick break here, 1 minute. I want to talk about getting involved. I mean, are you open to new members?
Oh, man.
I know a lot of social organizations are, but we got to talk about that because yours is an active one. You don't just sit around. You guys do stuff, and I think that's
and
cool.
I can tell you exactly how.
And I will say one thing. When you guys have the meetings over at St. Brennan's, those cheeseburgers are bigger than your head.
That is true. That's good.
That is a big burger. Hamburgers. Part of every nutritious breakfast. Pulp Fiction. Ron Metzler, Optimist, back after this.
From De Pere to Swamico, 97.9 WGBW.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
You want to feel important.
You want to be part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things.
You want to feel like you belong.
We know. We felt that way too, and that's why we did something about it.
We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers.
We are normal people just like you, but our part-time service in the Army National Guard means we get to be more.
When our communities are in need, we get the chance to stand up and do something about it.
We get to serve in our own region and help the people we call neighbors.
From the lakeshores of Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Minnesota,
The fertile fields of Indiana, Illinois, and Iowa, to the wide open plains of North and South Dakota.
we are here for our hometowns.
And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
The heat is on the street.
I won't
We'll
tell
get
it
to
on
it.
the air. Ron Metzler joining us to talk about the Optimist Club. They want to get people more involved, but the people you do have involved right now get a lot of bleep done, plain and simple.
Oh, it's great. If I can, I'll just talk about these other clubs. You know, my club, 77 years, good stuff, new stuff. Some lady comes in and says, I want to do stuff in the parks. I want to educate kids. I want them to feel better about themselves. That's her project. She brought it into the club. We supported it. She went in and did it. Preble, besides their big respect for law, they have cops and bobbers. They get kids fishing with city and sheriff department officers. What else? Preble Club.
You do something big at the Wildlife Sanctuary, too, one of your clubs. I mean, there's the Breakfast Optimist Club. You got the lunch. You got different times. I mean, what is there, 6 or 7 just here in Greater Green Bay?
Right.
And I think I want to talk a little bit more about getting involved. And I think it's incumbent upon people to get involved and help the community. I teach at TC, and I bring the students to the new community shelter, and not to scare them, but just to say, look, when you guys
Real life.
but when you're successful, I need you to come back here and volunteer and give money.
Right. I do the same. My high schoolers are going to come to my club on the 29th, and they're going to hear about service clubs.
Exactly.
That's what we're doing. But yeah, people are thinking out of the box. You take the Alloway Club. That whole park that Resch and Favre, donated for disabilities. The kids will never play sports except for it wouldn't be for that park.
Right. The Miracle Field?
Yeah, the Miracle Field. That was a fellow who belonged to the Alloway Optimist Club, and the Alloway Optimist Club supported him. The Alloway Optimist Club runs that huge car fest, 400 to 600 cars in Green Isle. They have kids events. Every penny goes back to the community. The reason I mention those is that is how you can join our club for a couple reasons if something's on your mind. The most important thing is you want to be a part of the community, but you can come in and do what we've been doing for years in our club since 1952 and 53, our oratorical and baseball, or you can make up what you want to do. You can come in and say, I got a project. You're the friend of youth. You come to our club and or any of these clubs. If you want to join any one of these deep here, Howard
Oshkosh, I mean, it goes down.
You get a hold of me, and I will personally hook you up.
Which is unusual because a lot of clubs, somebody tries to come in with new ideas. No, this is how we've always done it. This is the way it's going to be done.
And that's what I wanted to push today. Come in and do our junk that we've been doing, or come in with your own stuff. Now we I think we borrowed this from the Alloway Club, wonderful club. You can join our club right now. Free. We'll pay for your lunch and your dues for 6 months. See if you like it. That's
a
brand
nice
new.
trial.
That's brand new. So what we're trying to do is get people involved, and you got to keep pushing to get people involved.
How can people get involved?
The Optimist website, for example, honestly, depending where they are, if they are in Green Bay, get a hold of Ron Metzler. I will hook them up with Alloway, De Pere, our club, Preble.
That's great. And I think it's New Year's. People are making resolutions, and if their resolution is to get more involved in the community, you can always run for office. But, I mean, you guys probably do more than a lot of elected people. I mean, you really move the ball quietly. But, again, I just look at the last 20 years, what you've done for the
Well, you must be doing
baseball.
something right. You've been around for 100 years or
That's
77 years.
Yeah, that's
or whatever.
Our club, 77.
Yeah.
That's
all
what
right.
we want.
Ron Metzler, you got Facebook or you got a phone number? How do you want to do this?
And Todd just put up GBOptimist.com.
Oh,
GB
yeah, you
Optimist.com.
email that, they forward that to me. If
All right.
somebody says, hey, I'd like to hear more about the Optimist Club, you email that, email our address, and I will personally contact them, get them involved.
And is this men, women?
Oh, my God, yeah. Yeah, we keep pushing.
Young adults, some people a little bit older.
Yeah, and let's be blunt. You have more older people than younger people because you have more people that maybe will have the time. Right. They feel a sense of the community. And I'm going to say this too. Thousands and thousands of dollars are donated, but as I was just reminded by Tom Gothier over at the Preble Club, it's not only about the money, it's about your time and talents.
Mm-hmm.
And what can you bring to a club? We don't have, Green Bay Club doesn't even raise that much money, We just raise enough money to keep our programs going. And then we ended up with quite a foundation. And we do give out a lot of money, but that's not the point. Come in and be a part of your community. And it's not all about the money. Okay?
Well, and one other thing, though, too, you talk about the younger people. Great networking opportunities. Yeah. I mean, somebody new getting into, I don't care if it's real estate or selling cars or insurance or whatever you're doing.
A young lawyer.
Great networking opportunities. I mean, even that we're joking around about, but in that room, if we went through the careers of every person sitting there at that lunch, it would be so incredibly impressive, you wouldn't believe it.
Oh, it's my 37th year. I'm going on 38 in that club, and you have the business people. Maybe that's a little bit of problem with the businesses. The banks, the law firms, the insurance people, they used to kick their new people in town out the door.
Absolutely.
John,
Join
you brought
clubs.
up join those clubs, get involved.
Service clubs,
and then do the ones that you feel good about.
Absolutely.
Move on if you don't like it.
Absolutely. You're right.
Someone like you, and again, you join it because it's on your heart, but your mission statement is, how can you argue with something to help the youth get developed and more connected? But in that room, and you look around, even though some of them may be retired, they know a ton of people. I mean, man, like a guy like Dan Madigan, I think he knows, I always told him he should run for county executive or mayor. I just think he knows everybody so well respected. But just to meet someone like him could put you in touch with someone that's...
You're right. I've known Dan longer than, you guys combined, and he is the quiet thinker. He's the doer. Mm-hmm. We couldn't get him to be the president. It took us 25 years because he's just a doer.
Yeah.
He quietly builds hundreds of thousands of dollars of improvements in parks and all over the place.
Okay, I don't mean to be whatever, because I know Jim has dealt with this with a little bit of graft and corruption. But being a municipal judge now, if somebody says, "Hey, get me out of this, so and so, I'll donate to the Optimist, fishing tournament," yada yada. What do you think, Ron?
That's John.
Your Honor.
Yes,
that's on the top of the list of no.
Right,
the top job.
You've heard that before from John.
Where do I get an application?
I've been doing this for 16 years, and this week, yesterday, and over the weekend, I got my first pressure like that in 16 years.
Really?
Well, it wasn't that outright, but it was, hey, you know me, why don't you do something about it?
Wow.
Of course, you throw that case to the next judge as fast.
Yeah.
So, don't go there.
I think it is just great what you, and you're a leader in that organization, but that Optimist Club all throughout our listening area has really made this part of the world a better place.
Look it up. Hey, by the way, Appleton, Oshkosh, too, they have clubs.
They do.
Look us up.
And I'll tell you what, the Respect for Law Banquet,
awesome.
One of the highlights of the year.
Yep.
Outstanding.
All right, thank you,
Rod
Judge.
Metzler, anything we can do for the Optimist Club, you know where to find us.
Thank you very much.
You got it, my friend. Coming up next, Master Illusionist, Kevin Spencer. Back after this.
Take the long way home. There are times that you feel.
The talk of Green Bay, WGBW. Your news, conversations, and a whole lot of fun. It's all on your local Civic Media radio station or the Civic Media app.
After a less than desirable harvest and growing season, and now moving into the winter months, there's a lot of questions about what the hay supply is going to look like for the farmers. I'm Ben Jarbo at the Midwest Farm Report, and with me is Becky Brathel, a regional crops and soils educator for Pierce, St. Croix, and Barron counties, and she's going to give us a look at what we can expect during these cold times.
So we had kind of an interesting year. Like the last 2 years, we've had some droughts, and so that's been hard to get hay to grow back or to grow. And then this year with all the rains this spring, most people were able to get first and second crop off. But if you were in those places with the high droughts for the second half of the year, your inventory, you probably started to have to feed some hay. And so in the places where there were droughts in our state, the supply is not as high as people who got timely rains during the growing season.
Brathel says to make sure that you're getting your alfalfa tested as it comes in before you feed it to your livestock. From the Midwest Farm Report, I'm Ben Jarbo, and we'll take a look at some agriculture news right after this.
Did you know you can build a water and nutrient superhighway in your soil? You just need the Maximum Acre solution from Sound Agriculture. The easiest way to maximize your crop's access to nutrients all season long. How does it work? First, Source turns your soil into a nutrient factory, activating microbes that supply nitrogen, phosphorus, and micronutrients. Then Blueprint builds the delivery network. It provides a beneficial
Good morning, doctor.
fungi
Can I
called
get
AMS,
a check on your microphone?
biological partner.
Hey, good morning. How are you? Sounds great, sir. We'll be with you here in about 4 minutes. Great. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Nutrients and water when they're needed most. For the Maximum Acre solution that leads to bigger, healthier, and more productive plants, source it with Blueprint. Talk to your dealer or visit sound.ag.
Welcome back. I'm Ben Jarbo with the Midwest Farm Report, and now let's take a look at some agriculture news. It was announced that the USDA and DATCAP partnered to award $23.2 million for 30 new projects under the Resilient Food Systems Infrastructure Program. These will go out to help enhance the local and regional food systems. The Tour de Forage is back again for 2025 with locations and dates set ranging from Tuesday, January 21st to Thursday, January 23rd in Minnesota. The keynote speaker for these events will be Scott Newell, an alfalfa outreach specialist with the Division of Extension here in Wisconsin. From the Midwest Farm Report, I'm Ben Jarbo.
You can always continue the conversation on social media. Share your thoughts when you find and follow Civic Media on Facebook, X, and Instagram.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. A mix of sun and clouds today and a high in the mid-20s. Partly cloudy tonight, lows 5 to 10 above. And mostly cloudy for tomorrow, maybe a flurry or two, a high around 20. Mostly sunny in mid-20s Thursday, some flurries late. Currently, it's 12 degrees.
Civic Media, Wisconsin's source for real news and great conversation, offers podcasts of all of our daily shows online and on demand. Simply go to civicmedia.us, click on daily shows, and choose the podcast that you want to download. Shows are updated daily, or you can save them and listen all at once. Our podcasts are sponsored by UW Organ and Tissue Donation. You are an organ donor, right? Talk to your family. Get the dot. Save lives. Learn more at heroicdeed.com.
Matt Nair on air.
It is our 1 year anniversary here on Matt Nair on air. Thank you, Greg and Calvin, for being on this journey with me. It's been great.
Thanks for having me. I can't speak for Calvin.
I'm always thrilled to be here.
Unbridled.
The enthusiasm brimming over from you, Calvin. I'm overwhelmed. Thank you.
Matt Nair on air, weekdays 10 till noon on your local Civic Media radio station and on the app. Todd Albaugh.
Hey, everybody, join us next time. Civic Media's own Luke Mathers will be in with a Tuesday Tangent with Lukester and your calls. Join us.
The Todd Albaugh Show, weekdays noon till
For WGBW and WISS News, I'm Lisa Hale. U.S. Senator Tammy Baldwin says she'll give all of President-elect Donald Trump's cabinet nominations a fair shake, but will not compromise if somebody might hurt Wisconsin families, veterans, and businesses. Baldwin says she's worked for Trump's nominee for Transportation Secretary and former 7th District Congressman Sean Duffy before and would be inclined to support him. Baldwin did say she needs to hear from Trump's controversial pick to lead Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and would question him about his position on vaccines. All of Trump's nominees need to be confirmed by a Senate majority. The search for 47-year-old Virgil Thu continues, and now police are getting help from the FBI and the U.S. Marshal Service. Thu is a suspect in a triple homicide in New Lisbon, where a woman and her 2 teenage daughters were found dead New Year's Day. Thu is considered armed and dangerous and should not be approached. If you have information, call 911. The Oshkosh Area School District recently discovered airport zoning restrictions that put a wrench in Phase 2 of a 4-phase consolidation plan that the school district began in 2020. The Winnebago County Airport zoning updates of 2023 prevent schools from being constructed or expanded in airport runway and departure zones. South Park Middle School, the original proposed site for the new consolidated school, lies in those zones. The school board will discuss the proposal to build the new middle school at Shapiro STEM Academy instead of South Park at its meeting Wednesday. The Oshkosh School District is also considering placing a referendum on the April 1st ballot to fund the consolidation. I'm Lisa Hale for WGBW and WISS News. For news anytime, visit civicmedia.us.
Take Maino and the Mayor with you anywhere. Download the Civic Media app today from the Apple Store or Google Play Store. And text the studio directly, all from the Civic Media app. Download it today. Now, once again, here's Maino and the Mayor, John Maino and Jim Schmidt.
That's a good start.
There. How's breakfast? Finishing the brat.
No,
so for those of you just joining us.
Breath mint out of my thingy here.
Sure.
Hey, special thanks to Rod Metzler for joining us about the Optimist Club. Very honored to have this gentleman right now, Dr. Kevin Spencer, Master Illusionist, residency, and he's going to be at the Grand Oshkosh. And, you know, Doctor, just reading about all the different things, I love that you're so inclusive, where you talk about some of your stuff for children with autism and special needs and different things. And tell me a little bit about yourself.
Exactly, that whole sensory-friendly performance. I mean, that's a cool angle. Hi, Doc.
Hey, good morning. I'll just say that as I was listening here a minute ago and heard that it was 20 degrees in Wisconsin, I was super happy because the other day it was 8, and I thought that's what I was coming into.
Yeah, okay, just so you know, we're hoping to get to 20 degrees. It is 11 in Oshkosh.
Right.
Oh,
11.
okay.
And in Green Bay, it's 14 with the vortex coming right down the street.
Oh, man. So reality smacks you right in the face this morning.
So where are you? Where are you?
I'm in Arkansas. Yeah, I'm in Arkansas.
That's it. All right.
You're coming up on the 17th. Well, let's see. Well, no guarantees on the 17th.
It'll be cold on the 17th.
Might be colder. Might be snow. Anyway, we're looking forward to you coming up here. This is the cool program you have. Tell us a little bit about it.
Thank you. I'm excited to be coming back. I had the opportunity to work with Joe and the folks over at the Grand a couple of years ago. So coming back, I'm pretty excited. Looks like my schedule is really good. Speaking of those sensory inclusive performances, so much of my work is wrapped around making sure that everybody in our community is a part of what we do. And I think that's especially true for the arts. So many times people look at a place like the Grand and they think that's a place where we go to see art. And what I love about this residency they put together is it shows the community that art happens in a lot of places other than just the Grand. And by being out in your community, working with kids with special learning difficulties or kids with autism or Down syndrome or developmental disabilities, being able to show across the board that arts are good for everyone. Right. And my project specifically, because I'm a magician, and there's just something about magic that captivates, anybody's attention.
And everybody.
Absolutely. So when I work with these kids, teaching them a magic trick allows them to improve things like cognition and motor skills and communication and social skills, all in the learning of a simple little magic trick. So I'm really looking forward to this. It's going to be great.
Love it.
Can you kind of tell he's a little bit of a performer?
A little bit.
You bring a little energy to the party.
You've been to the Grand before?
Yeah. I was there. I want to say it was pre-pandemic, like before the pandemic.
Isn't it a great place, though?
Oh, my gosh. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful place. The folks that work there are just wonderful to work with. I made some really great friends in the community the last time I was there. So, I've been excited about coming back for quite some time.
Awesome. So, Doc, it's more than just the Grand, right? You talk about bringing the art out into the community. Do you go to schools?
how can other people experience your sensory friendly performance?
So I know that we've got lots of activities. I'm going to be working in some of the schools. I'm going to address the Oshkosh Police Department on the impact of secondary trauma for first responders.
Wow.
The sensory includes, so all of my work is kind of centered around disability and the impact of trauma, or working with people with histories of trauma. So one of the great things that I get to do in my work, not only do I get to work with performing arts centers across the country, I do a lot of work with the State Department. So any of our embassies around the world that recognize disability or trauma as a part of their program mission statement, I often have an opportunity to go to those countries and work with the organizations our embassy supports.
Wow.
So that might mean going to places that you wouldn't necessarily choose for vacation. Can
you tell us some of the countries?
Sure. I did a lot of work in Turkey after the last earthquake, Colombia after the end of the Civil War, Liberia at the end of the Ebola virus, 200,000 orphans, huge trauma.
Wow.
That's
awesome.
Incredible.
Yeah,
Hey, we got a text here. We got a text here, Doctor. This is great. Why did you decide to work with youth in this way? This is Randy from Appleton.
Thanks for the question, Randy. You know, I started working with adults. All of this came about because as a performer, I was involved in a really bad automobile accident. And I ended up with a traumatic brain injury and a lower spinal cord injury, spent a long time in rehab myself, just relearning all the skills I'd lost as a result of the accident. So magic became a way for me. I hated picking up marbles and dropping them in a glass, but I didn't mind working on the movements of a magic trick. And so what we found is that my own therapy did well. And then we started working with a group of adults, older adults who had had a stroke, and taught them some magic tricks. And the progress they made so quickly by learning the magic tricks compared to a more traditional approach was pretty significant. And it wasn't because the magic is magical and helps them heal. It's that we all want to learn a magic trick because we want to show it to somebody. And every time you practice the trick, you're doing your therapy.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's incredible.
I started with adults, and then in 2009, I worked with my very first little boy in South Florida. And I'd never worked with any kids before, and this kid was on the autism spectrum, and I had never even heard the word autism. And the impact on me from working with this boy was huge. It literally changed the direction and focus of my career. And so I started bringing this program. The hospital program is just simply called Magic Therapy, but the school-based program is called Hocus Focus. And Hocus Focus was birthed out of this experience I had with this autistic child in South Florida. And today I work with thousands of these kids every year.
Just incredible. Do you do any audience participation at the Grand at these shows that you're going to be doing?
Oh, yes. So my week is just a lot of outreach, but it culminates with those performances at the Grand. And yes, this is a show. The magic, people often ask me if it's a sensory inclusive show, does that mean the magic is less impressive? It's not. The magic is all really good. And the whole purpose of this show is for everyone to come out and watch a really great magic show, become engaged and involved in the magic show with people you might not normally associate with. If there's a family there who has a couple of kids on the autism spectrum, and those kids don't know how to clap, but they do know how to yell really loud when they're having a good time, you need to be good with that, because that's what this show is all about. The freedom to be who you are in a judgment-free space and just have a good time.
I can't put into words how phenomenal this is, what you're doing.
Tell me
Thank
about
you.
Todd, you had something?
Well, I was just going to say, can we maybe, I don't know if you do this kind of stuff, but maybe we can make John disappear. We'll put him in one of those boxes.
Or even 20 pounds. Can you make 20 pounds disappear?
I'm a big tipper, so go ahead, make it happen.
I'll put him on the list.
Thank you.
This is amazing how that young kid got you engaged in this, and I think there's more awareness of sensory performances. We here, I live in Green Bay. We have an amusement park. We put a whole park in there just for sensory sensitive. Is that I don't know what the right terminology is, but so that it's all inclusive. I think that's great that you're stepping it up on the whole magic scene.
Well, thank you. It's a great job. I had my wife and I traveled for 25 years with the largest theatrical touring illusion show in the U.S. Retired in 2015 to do the work that we're doing now. I went back to school, did my PhD, really dove deep into the best ways that we can work with individuals, not just children, but people of all ages and abilities to make our society a more inclusive space.
Can you tell us a little bit about what it was like going to these, and I hate to say third world countries, but when you got to these countries, they were in really, I mean, like Colombia after the things that happened, there, Turkey with the devastation. Where else were you with the Ebola?
Yeah, Liberia with Ebola.
Liberia, I mean, again, I shouldn't say the word third world. I mean, they're beautiful countries, but the situation these people were in, it was like a desperate situation. And for you to say, you know what, I'm going to leave my nice home in Arkansas and the Ozarks, this nice weather, and I'm going to go to these countries. Where's the thing that makes that tick inside?
That's such a good question. I think I think it just comes from my love for people and knowing that I had this experience where I thought my life was forever changed, and it was, but as a result of my own accident, I think I became more aware of what people with disabilities, people with struggles, what they deal with every single day of their life. I came out on the very good side of what could have been a tragic, tragic accident. But there are so many people around the world who deal with famine or disease or the lack of clean water or civil war or autism or whatever it happens to be. And those people may not be as lucky as I was in the end. And so I think I'm very empathetic towards
and I'm sorry that
my own experience.
I'm sorry that that's what it took, but some of I work at a community shelter. Some of the best leaders there were at one time homeless, believe it or not. And sometimes you need to go through that to really, you seem like you have a tremendous amount of empathy for people, but to experience that probably even brought it a little bit closer to home.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Wow. This is
the
great.
Countries are awesome, though. The people are amazing.
They are. How lucky we are to have you come up to this part of the world. How are you funded? How can people get to you to get to their communities?
My website's the easiest way. It's my name, kevinspencerlive.com. And if you want to find out more work about kind of the countries that we work in, jointhemove.com are the two websites that you can go to.
Hey, can we keep you around for our next? This is too good to just do one segment on because we want to talk about this. But we want to also talk, and we're not asking you to give away any of our secrets, but just some of the things
Please
that people.
Make them disappear.
20 pounds, that's all I'm asking for. Come on.
Make all 240 go away.
Dr. 221, Jim.
I'm sorry.
Dr. Kevin Spencer, Master Illusionist, residency at the Grand Oshkosh. That's going to be coming up. We'll talk a lot more about the time and all those kind of things on the 17th. This just sounds phenomenal. I love what you do for young kids who need a helping hand, need a bright spot in their lives, and you bring that to them. That's phenomenal. Please stay with us. We'll be back with more right after this.
Thank you.
Ho, 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 it's magic. You know, never believe it's not so. It's magic. You know, never believe it's not so. Never been away, hey. Never seen a day break.
From Hobart to Bay Settlement, 97.9 WGBW.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
when the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
The scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
I'll face a hurricane without meds. Now that's a tough pill to swallow.
let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
The Todd Alba Show.
What's going on in Washington today as we move into 2025? Have your antenna up. Don't rely on all the media sources. Just your own wisdom, your own heart, your own gut. Listen to what they're saying about our friends and neighbors and family, because we innately know these people that we live with every day in our communities. Don't allow words and thoughts to tear us apart. Hold fast to that which we know, which is good.
The Todd Alba Show. Weekdays noon till 2 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the app. Matt Nair on air. This shouldn't be a thing.
Hot Dr. Pepper is the hottest holiday drink, but is it any good?
Jane, I'd like to answer that question.
Yes.
No. Have you ever had a hot soda in your life?
Yes, they're terrible. You can also do apparently 80% eggnog and 20% Dr. Pepper.
Get out of my country.
Matt Nair on air. Weekdays 10 till noon on your local Civic Media radio station and on the app.
You are never far away from your favorite radio station. We're always streaming on TuneIn and the Civic Media app. And if you missed your favorite show or game, listen to a podcast of it anytime on the app or our website, civicmedia.us.
The first time seeing my son, I feel like my life did a 180. He really a definition of like why he loves somebody.
Through all of fatherhood's first, never stop being a dad. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
You're listening to
Never been away, Hank. Never seen a day break.
Hey, welcome back. Maino and the Mayor here. In a little bit, we've got Dr. K coming up. Talk about his new location, talk about Healthy New Year, and Laura Weigert from Fox City's Chamber of Commerce. She's always fun. We're going to do a little Uper quiz with her. But first, Dr. Kevin Spencer, master illusionist, could be at the Grand Oshkosh on the 17th.
Right. 10 a.m.
10 a.m. Can you just talk about some of your illusions?
And recommended grade levels, K-12. So he's putting on this unbelievable
5 or 6-year-olds all the way through.
Right. Show
Awesome.
on magic. I just love your energy. I just got to say that again.
Thank you.
And your sunburn. we haven't said anything about paleness.
Instead of
for
rubbing
quite
it
some
in.
time.
You know, like us pasty white guys?
Yeah.
Come on.
You know, when you travel as much as I do, my suitcase, I never know what I'm going to have. I think I go from Wisconsin to Florida. And so I've got, bringing this
room?
heavy coat and a couple of pairs of shorts. And it's like, what am I bringing this time? That's okay. There's our 2 shows. I'm doing a Friday show at 10 a.m. and a Saturday show at 11 a.m. And and they are for all ages and all abilities. The magic is really fun. I would encourage people, if you want to if you're coming to the show, come ready to volunteer or bring somebody with you that you want to volunteer, because the whole show, this is such a different moment for me in my career. When I was traveling with that big illusion show, and I did crazy things through my body, through the whirling blades of industrial fans and all kinds of stuff. And that show,
Jim tried to do that to me one day.
I started back to the,
and it wasn't an illusion.
Yeah, back to the 20
I just
pounds.
want to see parts of fat go flying out.
There's plenty there.
I have a few scars. They're just covered up. But that show, as most performers are, that show really was about me, right? It was about me in front of the audience. And this sensory inclusive show has nothing to do with me. This show is literally about the people in that audience who are there to enjoy themselves and then come up on the stage and help me out. Everybody who comes to the stage, the magic is about them. They shine. They're the ones that get to take the bow at the end of the trick. And we do close the show with I'm going to call it a magic trick. With the magic trick that everybody in the audience will perform with me. So you don't have to get up on the stage, but we're all going to end the show by doing one big magic trick together.
Sounds fantastic. And as you mentioned, children with autism or even adults with autism, it doesn't matter. This transcends something, doesn't it? This goes beyond just trying to talk nice to somebody or whatever.
Right.
This strikes a chord inside of the real them that wants to come out in a certain way, doesn't it?
Yes, it really does. It's so funny because at every show that I've ever done like this, somebody will volunteer to come on the stage, and I'll bring them on the stage, and they will be really great and funny. And when it's over and I'm talking to their parents, they're like, I can't believe my kid did that. My kid never talks to anybody. Or I'm thinking of one that I did just not too long ago where I asked this little boy, one of the things that I do, sorry, I'm bouncing. One of the things I do is as people come into the theater, I break that fourth wall right away, and I'm in the theater introducing myself, meeting people, getting names, because one of the most important things about working, especially with kids with autism, but I think with people in general, is making them feel really safe in the space that they're in. Right. And so if they get to meet me ahead of time, they get to know my name, they know that I'm not going to embarrass them on the stage, that I'm a pretty good guy, then they're more willing, I think, to volunteer when I'm looking for some help. And they
sounds
do.
Absolutely phenomenal.
And I mean, you obviously know your audience, and right, they need that safety. And Johnny was talking a little bit about how great it is for the kid, but how great it is for their friends and their family to see them and their parents, to see that all happen. That's awesome. Hey, tell us again. You're going to be at the Grand, but you're going to be in the schools. Give us the days, the time,
tickets.
Sure. Or do you want me to do that? Or I got it.
Yeah. Go ahead, Jim.
Okay. Well, okay, Doc, I'll do it for you. All right. You, young man, are going to be at the Grand in Oshkosh, January 17th, 2025. So that's coming up at 10 a.m. And the recommended grade levels are K-12. This is a sensory-friendly performance of, just this awesome magician. And then you're going to be there. I don't have the next time. You're going to be there the next day?
Saturday morning at 11 o'clock. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Okay, great.
And that, again, open for everybody, all ages, all abilities.
Right. And we got tickets are $32 to come to your event there, correct? Is that right?
I have no idea.
Oh, that's Joe's thing? Okay.
That's Joe's.
Check out the Grand Oshkosh. We'll have all the links.
All right,
and stuff
but the
on
link will be on
media.
there. All right, maybe. Okay, sorry.
I just show up and go where I'm told.
I guess you do, and you do a great job of it. Yeah, this is going to be great, and I hope parents, friends of people that maybe have a little autism in their world, anything with that. People who come to this sensory park that we built here, and those are the people that will really get a lot out of your show. But I've got a feeling everybody will.
And I would encourage people.
I would love to see it.
I would encourage people too to come, even if you don't think your child is going to be able to sit through the entire thing. Just bringing them out and exposing them to something new and something different, and exposing your community to people who are different than they are, even if it's for 15 minutes. If you can only come and enjoy 15 minutes of magic and you have to leave, I would encourage you to do that, because it's just a really wonderful experience for, like you said, for their family, for their friends, for themselves, to just do something that they might not normally or ordinarily do.
Love it.
Well, that's pretty.
Love it.
What an invitation.
Yeah.
Even if it is 15 minutes, which is all the longer I could sit when I was a kid. I just think that's really cool you're doing that, Doc. Yeah, hey, thanks for bringing your energy up here. This is going to be a lot of fun, and we're very fortunate to get you up here.
How are your Razorbacks
Thank you so
doing?
much. They're doing pretty good. Yeah.
What do you think of Calipari?
I don't know him either.
He's going to get it done. He's the head coach.
I think
John
he
Calipari.
is. I agree. I think some people question him sometimes, but I think
I know.
you're right. Yeah.
He'll get it done.
I think he's going
All
to
right.
get it done. Yeah.
All right.
Dr.
Good to
Kevin
talk to you guys.
Spencer, Master Illusionist, thank you so very much for everything you do for kids around the world. Thank you. See you in Oshkosh.
Bye-bye.
Mind of the Mayor, back with Dr. K right after this.
WGBW and WGBW.FM. Dom Salvia.
Next time, we go overtime with Maggie Dawn. America's mayor held in contempt of court. Former AG Brad Schimmel thinks Dems are guilty of lawfare. And will Wisconsin ever have binding referendums? Tune in.
The Dom Salvia Show. Weekdays 4 till 6.
Ever tried balancing a dozen eggs in one hand while hopping on one foot? Or maybe juggling cats while riding the unicycle? Sounds ridiculous, right? But guess what? That's exactly what texting while driving is like. Your human brain only has the capacity to focus on one thing at a time. So when you're behind the wheel, give driving your undivided attention.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Enjoying this local program? Find the complete Civic Media lineup at civicmedia.us or the Civic Media app. This is 97.9 WGBW Denmark, Green Bay's real news and great conversation, a Civic Media radio station.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. President-elect Trump's legal team maneuvering to try to make sure Special Counsel Jack Smith's final reports on Trump's alleged hiding of classified documents and trying to interfere with Georgia's election are never made public. ABC's Aaron Katursky with more.
Special Counsel Jack Smith, as all special counsels do, is preparing a report about his findings, and now Trump and his co-defendants are trying to block its release. Overnight, Smith said he's working to finalize his report about Trump's handling of classified documents, and the Attorney General is deciding what to publicly release.
Trump's lawyers also requested that his hush money conviction in New York be thrown out. The judge in that case refused. Facebook and Instagram CEO Mark Zuckerberg of Meta posting on video today saying fact checkers on the social media sites will be replaced with a community notes system similar to what's on X. 2 bodies found in the landing gear section of a plane that landed in Fort Lauderdale from New York City last night. Police don't know why or how the 2 men ended up there. This is ABC News.
I'm Lisa Hale with WGBW News. Your news in depth. Find it in the news section at WGBW.FM. For 97.9 WGBW News, I'm Lisa Hale. Aurora Healthcare clinics and hospitals are reinstating mask mandates for visitors at all Wisconsin locations. Visitors are required to wear masks when in contact with patients or in designated areas. Wisconsin health officials are on high alert as respiratory illnesses such as RSV, influenza, and COVID-19 are on the rise throughout the region. Aurora has clinics and hospitals throughout northeast Wisconsin, including Green Bay, the Fox Cities, and Oshkosh. A man died after crashing into a tree, and a 1-year-old child was found in a smoke-filled home Saturday night in Neenah. Neenah police say the officers were sent to the 800 block of South Park, where a vehicle's engine and dashboard were on fire. An unconscious man with traumatic injuries was removed from the vehicle and taken to the hospital where he died. The child was found in the man's apartment. The baby did not need medical attention and was released to family members. The incident remains under investigation. The Green Bay Public Market is on track to open in the summer. Brian Johnson, president and CEO of On Broadway, said right now tenant recruitment is his main focus.
It's not a food court, and I think that's really important to emphasize. This is about bringing in a lot of different types of products, whether it's a fish, a butcher, a baker. Our goal in this facility, you're going to have prepared food. That's what makes the most successful markets, but it's about striking that right balance. And if you don't have the right tenants, it's a lot harder.
The public market will be able to house up to 20 vendors and provide year-round access to fresh produce and other goods. The $18.3 million project is expected to have a yearly economic impact of $65 million. I'm Lisa Hale, 97.9 WGBW News. For news anytime, log on to WGBW.FM.
The Packers lose Christian Watson. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. Packers head coach Matt LaFleur confirmed that wide receiver Christian Watson could be out a year after suffering a torn ACL and other damage to his right knee during Sunday's game against the Bears. Up next, the Packers face the Eagles next Sunday in the wild card playoffs. Running back Josh Jacobs.
Everything is on the line. It's no real do-overs. It's no flush last week. It's none of that. It's execute when the times that they got to make a play or whatever. That's what we're gonna look forward to try to do. This whole week. Men's college basketball, the Badgers with another nice Big Ten conference win, 75-63 at Rutgers. In the NBA, after losing 4 of their last 5, the Bucks beat the Raptors in Toronto, 128-104. Bobby Portis with 20 points. Damian Lillard led with 25.
Being physical, making them work offensively, the communication, helping each other, gang rebounding. Those are all things we can control.
That's the Bucks' Damian Lillard with Sports on Mike Clemens.
This is your local Civic Media radio station. Want to hear even more? Anytime? Find all of it at civicmedia.us.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. A mix of sun and clouds today and a high in the mid-20s. Partly cloudy tonight, lows 5 to 10 above. And mostly cloudy for tomorrow, maybe a flurry or two, a high around 20. Mostly sunny in mid-20s Thursday, some flurries late. Currently, it's 12 degrees.
Join Lou Rugani for the Music of the Stars every Sunday morning from 7 a.m. until noon. Lou brings back the nostalgia from the golden age of radio with the music, drama, and comedy shows that made radio magic. Music of the Stars is sponsored by Lakeland Care, providing personalized support that aims to improve quality of life and maintain independence for elders and those with disabilities. It's the Music of the Stars, Sunday at 7 on 97.9 FM and 1590 AM WGBW. Talk of Green Bay.
Hey, it's John Maino.
And Jim Schmidt from Maino and the Mayor.
Want to stay in the loop with all things Northeast Wisconsin? Sign up for the WGBW weekly newsletter.
Get the latest local stories, updates on the weather, and a special feature from our Maino and the Mayor podcast.
It's your one-stop shop for real news and great conversation in Northeast Wisconsin.
Log on to WGBW.FM today and get signed up.
Real news, great conversation. Sign up today at WGBW.FM/newsletter. Maggie Dawn.
Next up, I'll break down all of the hidden symbols and why Beyonce Bowl on Christmas was so important in this political moment. Next.
The Maggie Dawn Show, weekday afternoons from 2 till 4.
Coming to Northeast Wisconsin live from the Civic Media Studios and featuring TV and radio broadcast veteran John Maino, along with the City of Green Bay's longest-serving mayor, Jim Schmidt. This is Maino and the Mayor.
Begin the day with a friendly voice, a companion unobtrusive.
And here are your hosts, John Maino and Jim Schmidt.
Hey, thank you very much. Welcome back. We got some big timers on the show today.
We're kind of teeing it up today.
So think about this.
Two doctors, a judge.
Well, a judge, yeah. Ron Metzler, a judge.
Right.
A judge. Dr. Kevin Spencer,
Right.
worldwide master illusionist. Now Dr. K. I mean, we're out of our league here.
Well, we always are.
We always are.
This.
Yeah.
Hey, Dr. K, you kind of two doctors. I mean, you work at a hospital, right?
Yep, I do. Yes.
You also have your own lane of.
Yeah, just basically a wellness practice to kind of bring more healthy choices to the valley here.
Yeah. Does anyone want to lose weight in New Year's?
They do after New Year's.
I waited until today to weigh myself.
I weighed myself this morning, too.
Yeah, exactly. It happens usually after a week after New Year's once the
What
partying
would be
gets
about
down.
the average that somebody... I gained about 5.
Yeah, they're usually about during Christmas. I myself usually gain about 7 pounds between like Christmas Eve and New Year's Day with all the good food.
Right.
I mean, I indulge myself. Everybody does. That's the part of fun living. And then after that, then I get focused. I gotta get back in the zone again.
Yep.
So this elevate life, energize your wellness. What's working? Because the country isn't working.
Yeah.
I mean, you see these maps. It's like with so many were obese, especially 20 years ago, and just keeps getting the darker and darker blue, and it's like, what, 45 states are obese? It's just crazy. That's probably not the right number. But the country's not getting better yet. You're focused on that.
Yeah, absolutely. So the one thing, like the new drugs, the GLP-1s, which are some glutide, tirzepatide, they work really, really well. Essentially, the reason people are gaining weight right now is 2 things. One, the processed food is really addicting. People, you crave it. I mean, manufacturers spend billions of dollars every year just to get people, just to study how to get people come back to the same foods over and over again.
Can I just ask quick?
Yeah.
John had brats for breakfast.
Yeah.
What's wrong with it? But it's venison brats.
That's
wild game.
Yeah.
That's my whole new mantra. It's wild game for 25. But this doesn't sound dissimilar from what the tobacco companies did years ago,
Essentially,
correct?
That's absolutely correct. I mean, nicotine is very addicting, and that's what tobacco companies did. They studied how to get people addicted, and once you're addicted, they got you.
Right.
I mean, if you look back, everybody has their favorite food, and if you think about it, why is it favorite for you? You crave it, and that's the whole goal. That's how they make their money. And the second part is people will overeat. Food's always there. It's not like back in 1800s anymore. Everybody's fridge is mostly stocked. And start with unhealthy food, so it's really accessible. So the best way to start losing weight right now is to eat less, and that's what these drugs help you do: is eat less.
Because you're right about it's plentiful. I mean, and it's not that food's not that expensive. I mean, people say, and look, I understand inflation and all that, but at the end of the day, I don't know. I mean, we talk about going shopping and spending $125 or $150 versus it used to be $80, but the point is that it's available.
It's available, and dollar. I like to look at dollar per calorie. How much dollars you spend per calorie? It keeps going down and down every single year, mostly because of this manufactured food. It becomes cheaper, and the unhealthy food is the cheap food, right? The healthy food is the organic food, is the expensive food. So when you're money conscious, or if you want to save a few bucks, you can tend to navigate towards the unhealthy food. So that's a double whammy against you.
But your focus is on helping people lose weight. That's
Yes.
one of your focuses. Maybe when you talked last time. Then they always say there's not a magic pill, but isn't this kind of close to that?
It is really close. Essentially, the way the drugs work is they keep you full longer. So food kind of sits around your stomach longer. That's one way to put it. And that means you get full longer. And when you're full, you don't have the cravings to eat anymore. So think of like a Thanksgiving meal. So if you eat at the end of Thanksgiving meal, even if your favorite pie comes on, you take a double eagle. Do I really want to eat that pie? Do you want to sit down for a little while and digest first? So think of that the same feeling constantly. So essentially, you're full longer, you eat less, and then people tend to lose weight after that. And my goal is to help you navigate that in a safe manner. Because if you eat less, but you eat just nothing but junk food, then you're going to be malnutritioned. Your vitamins are going to go down. That's not a healthy way to lose weight. My job is to help you use the drugs, but also use it in a healthy manner so you stay healthy throughout the whole weight loss process, and then slowly try to put things in place to get you off the medication as well. So I have plenty of patients that successfully got off medications, but it's a long process. It took us a year to get the lifestyle in place, try to figure out how the cravings work, and now they don't use it anymore. So it works really well.
So at Revamp, that's the name of this organization that helps people with this healthy lifestyle, or elevate life, I should say. What is the process? Is it an assessment they go through, or how do you decide? Is everyone eligible for this?
And do you personally, as a doctor, look at a person's body mass or whatever, and say, okay, I don't want you below this number?
Absolutely. So every patient has a 1 hour free consultation, and that's with me personally. And then we do a lot of things. We do a full questionnaire looking at the whole lifestyle. Then we can also do 3D body analysis. Essentially, we use a machine called Staiku. It does the 3D measurements of you in 30 seconds, and it can give us exact measurements of your bone density, your muscle mass, and your fat density. It also gives us a calculation on your visceral fat, which is fat around your organs, and subcutaneous fat, which is fat underneath your skin.
Wow.
And then we can monitor that pretty much as frequently as you can make it to my clinic. Some people we monitor every single month, and we can tell you exactly, hey, we're starting to lose more muscle mass than we like, so this is what we're going to do to change that. Or you're on the correct track, you're losing fat, but we're not losing muscle. Let's keep chugging away.
Because that is not a fear, but an excuse. I don't know what I'm looking for, but they're like, you're losing muscle, and you don't want to lose muscle.
And you can tell when a person has lost muscle instead of fat. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, absolutely.
Some people don't look healthy.
Yeah. That's because they have the volume loss in the face too, and the biggest one is also your skin. When your vitamins and minerals go down, your skin just looks not healthy. You know when someone's skin doesn't look great.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we keep track of all of that. We can even supplement it as we need to with just trace minerals. So we keep, my goal is to help you lose weight, get to a healthy weight, but do it in a healthy manner and keep the weight off. It's a lifelong process. It's not going to happen in 3 months. But my goal is to get you to the point where you can do it.
Okay, good. Because you know what? I'm not going to put down the medical profession.
Yeah.
But you know what is a crock?
Yeah.
The BMI.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a total crock, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. That's why we don't really use BMI. We look at the actual muscle fat percentage in your body.
Good. So
which is different than BMI, because if you're really muscular and you're short, your BMI is going to be high, which is, once again, not the greatest thing.
Thank you. So, that's what's wrong with me.
John, we don't have to get taller. Sure, John. Yeah, you're the doctor.
It's because of my thighs.
What about, so you put people on a prescription, a drug that will help them, like you said, maybe eat less or not be as craving food. What about the exercise portion? Is that something you recommend? Or
I do. I think exercise is a very critical part of it. And then I also, if you're in the Valley, I have a lot of contacts with the personal trainers in the area and exercise facilities in the area. And based on what you like and your personality, I try to match you up with the personal trainer that will mesh with you really well. It seems to be, it's just like a warm handoff. I really pick up the phone and say, hey, Melissa, I have a patient here that I think would be a good fit for you as a personal trainer. Why don't you meet and see what you can do? And most of the time, they do give us steep discounts for the initial consultation for my patients as well. So we do try to make deals that way so everybody saves money and kind of get into a healthy health again.
So obesity is a huge problem, isn't it? I
Yeah.
mean, like, we look at knees, hips, all that stuff, isn't it?
Yeah,
All
obesity
product
is a huge. I think
Right.
it's an epidemic now.
It is.
And then when you're obese, you're at higher risk for heart disease,
Right.
strokes, even higher risk for cancer. You're you're at risk of dying like 10 years younger. So my question when I tell my patients is, if I can give you 5 years, 10 years at the back end of your life to spend with your family, what would you give me? Essentially, like, what would you pay for that? And then everybody will say, all right, I'm in. Let's get the process started. So it's really looking at the long term. And obesity has so many kind of complications. You end up with knee replacements, hip replacements, arthritis, inflammatory disease.
Cancer.
Yeah.
I mean, that was never talked about before.
Yes.
And now all of a sudden, two things, and I want to ask you about that.
Yeah.
Two things, whereas the Surgeon General wants stricter things on alcohol, that's got to be considered a carcinogenic?
It is. Alcohol is a carcinogenic. Alcohol is a poison. When you drink alcohol, every single cell in your body gets hit with poison. Of course, I always say, enjoy life in moderation. If you can't have any pleasures in life, there's no point in living, but everything's in moderation.
So that's why they said in the Westerns, pick your poison.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, your drugs, though, that you use, or your pill, whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
does that, obviously it makes people not hungry. What about people that like to have cocktails? Does it take away that urge for that?
Yeah, so it cuts down on the cravings.
Okay.
So people that, actually a lot of people that used to drink every single day, now they enjoy it over the weekend, so it's more moderated.
Okay.
So it really cuts down the cravings. They don't have the craving to drink anymore. And even when they overdrink, they just don't feel good because they just feel like stuff just sits there. They get nauseous. So over time, they realize, you know what, that nauseous feeling is not worth it anymore. I just don't feel great. I don't get any pleasure. So now they just do it socially. So that helps. And I have some people that actually quit smoking because they don't have the craving to smoke anymore. So they've completely stopped smoking, which is phenomenal.
Okay, so let me just say something, though, because I remember reading the one big thing, and it was about how cravings are your body's way of saving you from starvation. That's the old theory, right? That's what, if you didn't have it, you would die. But it gotten to the point where, and part of it was talking about the media, they have done such a wonderful job of presenting their foods in commercials, and in the old days when you'd go to the drive-in and have that unbelievably looking hot dog, that
Still going on.
They've done such a job mentally to make you think you got to have that, haven't they?
Yeah, so cravings are actually from dopamine release. So dopamine is a chemical that gives you pleasure in your brain. So anything that's pleasurable will release dopamine, and food is one of the most pleasurable things. It's more pleasurable than sex for a lot of people. So that's what gets you the cravings.
Well, let's not get carried away.
I don't know about that, Doc. Come on, easy. Jesus.
I don't know about you. I'm just saying. You know what I mean?
Give me that cheeseburger. See you, honey. I want a cheeseburger.
Hey, Don, you know what I'm talking about?
So, Doc, come on. Revamp. You've got locations people come to, and you give them this service. I want to talk
We're gonna
about how
talk a
people
lot
can get
more
engaged.
Absolutely.
About how you're going to change our lives.
Absolutely.
Right after this.
Like a net. I've got to find my baby yet. I need you to soothe my head, turn my blue heart to red. Doctor, give me the news. I got a bad case of loving you.
This is the talk of Green Bay, WGBW.
You're listening to the American Democracy Minute, keeping your government by and for the people. The Voting Rights Act of 1965, Section 2, included opportunity for communities of minority voters to elect the congressional candidate of their choice by creating a majority-minority voting district. In 2025, Alabama, for the first time in history, has 2 black members of Congress. It wasn't easy. Alabama's population is almost 27% black, yet the state had only one majority-minority congressional district out of 7 after the 2020 redistricting cycle. Voters sued under the Voting Rights Act, and in 2022, the U.S. Supreme Court in Allen v. Milligan determined the legislature had intentionally diluted black voting power. Alabama's federal district court ordered new maps, which the legislature and governor defied, refusing to create a second majority-minority district. Finally, in October 2023, the court chose a map drawn by a court-appointed expert, which included a second black district. Black Alabamian Shamari Figures, son of civil rights activists, won the second congressional district 55% to 45%. The Milligan decision was long-awaited justice for black Alabamians, but a Supreme Court decision in a South Carolina gerrymandering case may narrow already weakened Voting Rights Act protections. We have more on the Milligan decision and its consequences at AmericanDemocracyMinute.org. I'm Brian Beal.
Here's to a Wisconsin winter you will always remember. To playing outdoors in a winter wonderland. Here's to cozying up around the fire and holding someone close. And to staying downtown, where the food scene makes your heart sing. And to celebrating moments frozen in time. Here's to those who Wisconsin. Plan your winter getaway at TravelWisconsin.com. Sponsored by Travel Wisconsin.
Doctor, give me the news. I got a bad case loving you. No pill's gonna cure my head. I got a bad case loving you.
You know, I feel bad when we have guests like this. You know why?
They all
Because he thinks we're going to toss him some questions while we're live on the air. When we go to break, we just bombard.
We get all that personal, right? Free advice.
Bombard.
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you this.
Do you think I'm obese? Do you think I'm obese? What do I got to do?
But Dr. K, revamp, HRT, new location, healthy new year we're talking about. This is right up our alley.
It really is. And I just want to talk about people that I think a lot of people make New Year's resolutions. And I was reading the majority of them is to be healthier.
Yeah,
I mean, it is.
yeah.
It's number one, like every year after year.
Absolutely.
I was telling Johnny that 1 year, and the second one was to spend more time with family, and the third resolution, most popular, was to get financially stable. And then they did it again a year later, and the number one was to be healthy. Number two was financial. The family moved down.
I guess who did they talk to?
It's like, this didn't work too
Did
well.
the family move out of the house completely?
Top three, though.
Yeah, it is.
They're in the top three.
But I
the
was going to say
family.
consistently, number one is to be healthier. And this wasn't around 5 years ago.
No, I think now people are actually getting more health conscious as well. As I said, I think New Year's resolution has always been first is take care of yourself, which is always get healthy, but life gets in the way. But I think there's also more options that work really well right now as well. 10 years ago, I mean, you only had a few options if you needed to do medication-wise. And after that, people blamed you if you were obese. Now people have shifted the thought process. Now it's not, the way I approach my patients, it's not your fault. Let's just get you the tools that you need to get you where you want to go. We're always looking to the future. We're not going to look at the past. So I think people are just more conscious, especially on social media, and they realize that they want to get healthy.
And I don't know how much that costs, but I mean, come on, 10 more years, not a new knee, not a new hip. I mean, right, losing weight is important, but I don't think people really understand the long-term benefits.
Yeah, exactly. And then, if you get a heart attack, if you had to get a stent placed, how much is that going to cost you? If you have high blood pressure, have a stroke, how much is that going to cost you long-term if you can't move your right side or left side? So for us, I'd be happy to talk about the prices. So for us, it's $300 a month, flat fee, essentially, to get this whole package deal. And then we kind of follow you very closely. And, as I said, it's not always a lifelong. Some people may need it for life. But most people, if we do exactly the plan we set out forward, we can slowly titrate off as well. So once we get you goal weight, we kind of go backwards to see what we can do to get you off the medication.
Obviously, you're a smart guy. You have a practice, but you also do telehealth, which is a secured way of somebody, if they can't
Yeah, we got a
Yeah.
thing here from somebody in Madison, a friend of ours in Madison. Do you have a location in Madison?
Yeah, so since I don't have a location in Madison, if people can make telehealth appointments on my website, it's revampHRT.com. And then it's just like a Zoom call. We sit down. We still have have a conversation. We still do everything. There is no compromise of care, and the medication gets shipped to your house directly. And then we talk very frequently, either through text or phone calls, pretty much every week or every other week, to keep track of where things are going. So you don't have to come to my locations. I make it very convenient.
I got to say one thing though too to go along with this. I've had high blood pressure for years and years.
Yeah.
I'm on meds and whatever, but it never really went down. I walked a bunch this summer. Okay, that got my blood pressure. Like even I got the home thing. That's just I always write it down.
Yeah.
Okay, because my doctor says write down. I used to be like 175 over like 94.
Oh, that's high. Yeah, that's not good.
Super high.
Yeah.
Yesterday, 120 over 77.
That's phenomenal.
Wow.
From walking.
Yeah.
Honest to God.
That is great.
Walking.
Just a little bit. I'll recommend patients, best time to walk is after you have a meal. You have a meal, walk just 30 minutes. Just make a slow, leisurely walk with the family or during lunch at work. And that will drop down your blood sugar and will also drop down your blood pressure. That's the best time to get walking.
I mean, I had to do a little bit of eye surgery a couple of years ago for a thing. And
totally cosmetic because he's on TV. But anyway,
well,
go ahead, John.
Not really, kind of. Yeah. But anyway, they wouldn't even let me. They wouldn't even discharge me because my
blood pressure
was so high.
Yeah.
They couldn't release me.
Yeah, that's not good.
No,
that's not a good spot to be in.
Not a good spot at all. No.
But I just want to get back. And I remember the Surgeon General just said if he could give out one prescription, it would be to walk 30 minutes a day.
Yeah, exactly.
If he could, in a bottle, that's the one. But, I mean, I want to get back to if it's $300 a month or even if it's $400, you can save that on food pretty quick.
Exactly.
I mean, that's, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
if you're going to eat less, and food's expensive, we talk about
So
that.
$100 every trip.
Right.
Yep. Exactly. And then I think we kind of talked a little bit about it off topic as well. Like if your BMI is high, your insurance costs are high depending on which insurance you have.
Right.
And a lot of people now have high premiums. So think about how much money you're spending on just blood pressure medication or a chronic medication. So think of all the other costs where you save money. And you also get a healthy lifestyle for long term.
I mean, I almost think, why isn't everybody... Of course, why aren't I at your door?
Yeah, right? Yeah, when are you two showing up?
He will be.
No, I think this is great that what's your specialty? Are you a surgeon?
Yeah, no. So I'm an emergency medicine physician. Okay. That's my training, and I still work as a full-time ER doc. This is more of a passion project and a side project to see what I can do because I realized in the Valley, there are not very many programs like mine set up, so I decided to kind of venture out a little bit, but I still work full-time as a ER doctor.
Wow. Let me ask you this quick question, switching things here a little bit, emergency doctor. Give us some advice. Don't do this because I don't want to see you in the ER.
Yeah, always wear a helmet. That's one of the biggest things. When you're riding bicycles, when you're riding motorcycles, anything that you're doing risky activity like skiing, please wear a helmet. The worst thing that can happen is a concussion. That can be a lifelong damage or brain bleed that can, once again, that we call the hemorrhagic stroke sometimes. So please always wear a helmet. That's the best thing you can do. And don't drink and drive. Please don't drink and drive. I see so many car accidents drinking and driving, and it changes your life, your family's life. It's absolutely devastating.
Wow. Good stuff.
But that helmet thing, I remember I had a doctor like you when my kids were younger, and she broke her arm skateboarding, but she was wearing a helmet, and he's like, hey, I can fix arms.
Yeah,
I can't always fix brains. So,
exactly.
I thought that was like, and she's like, okay. But, yeah, it's awkward. It maybe can be, but now helmets are cool right now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like
you can get some cool helmets. They're back in style.
They are, right?
Yeah.
This is really great stuff.
You're a good
really
doctor.
Great stuff.
I mean, you care about the people.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, and that's the whole goal, is to change people's lives.
I read this thing with a doctor, one of those internet thing, but it said 3 things. The one I remember most, number 1, they tells parents, never let your kids jump into water that they don't know the depth.
Absolutely,
yeah.
Especially diving head first. I've seen some neck fractures that paralyzed kids for life. So please don't dive head first unless you know exactly how deep it is and what's on the
in the
bottom.
meantime, we're going to lose some weight.
Absolutely.
We're going to come and see you, revamp, and we're going to put this on our Facebook. And I just want to thank you for what you're doing. I think you're really going to change people's lives. You got a great attitude.
Both up there.
I think you're extending life.
Hey,
he could have said, well, you guys don't need it.
And
he didn't say that.
He just said, I tell the truth.
And he doesn't invite
I hate doctors who tell the truth. Lie to me. Back after this. That was...
Take Maino and the mayor with Take Maino and the Take Maino and the mayor with you anywhere. Download the Civic Media app today from the Apple Store or Google Play Store. And text the studio directly, all from the Civic Media app. Download it today. Now, once again, here's Maino and the mayor, John Maino and Jim Schmidt.
Hey, thank you very much. Welcome back. Dr. K, fantastic having him in here. Phenomenal. Great guest today, but none to be unsurpassed by Laura Wiegert, Fox City's Chamber of Commerce. Okay.
That's Dr. Laura Wiegert.
Yeah. So she's a lying whatever, okay? You could tell she's from Michigan. I asked her what happened to her ankle. She got the big thing. She says, crazy story. I went on an African safari, and there's this baby.
Ubers for elephants.
There's this baby elephant in the ditch, and I was trying to rescue him, and he fell over, and he snapped. I go, seriously? No, I fell down the steps of my brother's bar.
Not a bar.
You said a bar.
I said a barn.
Barn. I think you said bar.
All right.
Okay.
I was completely sober, for the record.
Got it. All right. How you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
Good. You know, we're really excited because we are now on a radio station in Appleton.
I heard Todd shared that. That is
we
exciting
are
news.
Excited about that.
And you've got it going on in the Fox Cities. It's just...
We brag about you guys a lot.
We do.
Aw, that's so sweet. Thanks, guys.
And we even had the chamber on from Green Bay, and we were bragging about you.
Ooh, how did that go over?
Just telling them we're friends. So, no, you guys... And it's amazing what chambers can do and should do, quite honestly.
Yeah.
For the communities. I was looking at some stats you sent over that 81% of the U.S. adults agree that their local chambers, it's the trusted entity.
Yep.
And the chamber has good people normally, right, that get appointed, or not really, that's not an elected thing. But your job is the business climate of the community, right?
Well, so there's a saying in the chamber world, if you know one chamber, you know one chamber, because every chamber is different. Like Green Bay and ourselves, we're more focused on economic development, the economy, driving jobs and business, right? But there's a chamber, I don't remember what state, Florida, they own a steakhouse as a form of revenue. Some chambers just do tourism. Some only do, events. So I think the commonality is driving the economy for anyone, whether it's through tourism or through, we work like with talent retention and attraction, a lot of businesses.
Right.
That's cool stuff.
The chamber is funded through...
For us, there's three primary sources.
And I just want to say that you are the number one chamber in the United States. So I want to kind of get to what's the model that's working.
And that's been documented because we are National Chamber of the Year.
That's incredible.
That's why you're here.
I mean, how many chambers are there in the United States? Thousands and thousands.
I don't even know that
every
answer.
community.
Yeah.
I mean, there's 50 states. There's got to be 20 in each state.
Yeah,
all of that.
At least.
At least.
So membership dues are part of it. And we have economic investors. That's part of it. And then we have our events and our sponsorships. And it's like a third is where our funding comes. That's why all of our events like Oktoberfest are so important. And help us continue to serve the community.
With the focus of economic development, I just think that's really important. And I think there's a lot of important things to do in any community. But you got to create jobs and tax base. That's how this country got started. And that's why it continues to be successful.
Exactly.
What are some of the things why do you think, besides you, why do you think you received the National Chamber Award?
I think the biggest driver was our Connect Free program. And I know we've talked about this on the show in the past, and that is our free membership level, FREE, $0 for any small business who qualifies. And that's if you have 5 or fewer employees, a nonprofit with 10 or fewer, and any restaurant. because we wanted to help them coming out of COVID. We were one of the first in the nation to do a program like this. And that is, it's innovative, it's groundbreaking, and it supports the small businesses who are the backbone of our economy.
And we've had several from the Fox Cities. They're startup type things. And, where it's real fragile, you're going to make it or not. And, boy, they have. And I think part of the networking they've done through you has really helped them. They're the ones that have said that.
Great. And if they're not a member, tell them to join.
Okay.
But I want to talk a little bit more about the benefits of joining a chamber. And everybody's busy. I mean, especially an entrepreneur. It's like, you're never home. Well, it's because I'm working. And then you say, really, I'm going to join the chamber? Just talk about the benefits, especially like Johnny just said, the networking.
Oh, yes. We survey our members regularly, and that is the number one thing is networking. In fact, when we did a brand study a few years back and rebranded, that's how we came up with our tagline, Connect, Grow, Lead, because those are the reasons why people join the chamber. They want to connect, they want to grow their business, and they want to be a leader in the business community. So we offer a lot of networking opportunities, from free to some of our paid events, like our Celebrate Annual Dinner coming up.
Which is really cool. I've been to it. That's quite the event.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
about 3 years. It was the first one you had after COVID.
Oh.
Type of thing.
Is that when Dan Nevins was speaking, the veteran?
Yes.
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 Awesome.
What an interesting guy.
Oh, my God.
If you have a contact for him, please let me know. Severely wounded veteran, and he gave such a speech. It was fantastic. Please, if you can get me a contact.
I will. And the sad, it's fine now, but when he spoke, he actually had just been diagnosed with cancer when he spoke for us.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. No, we didn't either. He didn't tell us till after the fact. And now I understand he's recovered and doing fine, but just a great guy with a great story.
Wow.
And we had Dick Morris.
Who's Dick Morris?
Well,
were those crickets I just
Dick
Morris.
Dick, the guy that wanted to take Hillary Clinton down. He got caught. Whatever. Anyway, I just what a
Let's
difference.
go back to your wounded veteron.
I know. I will tell you about that. I'll tell you about it at the break.
Thank you, Ted.
I
was up here, folks. Clear the area.
No,
get out of the way.
Yeah, that
coming
was
through.
I don't know if that was the same time.
Wide load coming through.
No, I just tell you, and I used to go to all those things too. But the guy who took out Osama bin Laden was here too. Remember that?
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah. Oh, that would be
Tim
cool.
McPhee.
Cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, that was cool.
Anyway,
the chamber, the networking, people who are starting businesses, it's focused on money and sales, but that networking is critical just to even lead you to another vendor or to a potential customer. Obviously,
absolutely. It's about relationships. You know that. It's not about, the product. I mean, the product is, I think that's a given. But it's the people, it's a service that you receive, and that comes from building relationships and networking.
You know what you guys do, though, too, and we talk about this a lot. In fact, we had somebody on just the other day. Oh, the group we had on the other day, the Bluegrass group, and they talk about the Mile of Music. You guys have developed, you guys have come up with some niches there that are, it's like people not only want to be a part of, but they have to try really hard to be a part of. It's, you know what I mean? It's like, it's not just a gimme. You got to earn it and whatever. And that makes being a part of that much more special.
Yep. We get that with Oktoberfest, where fans want to be there. And it's like, we have a selection process, talk to the guy running that area, blah, blah, blah.
Right. That's what I mean.
I have to tell you one networking story quickly. We're in the chamber, met somebody else that knew a little bit about paper, not a lot. We were paper converters. That's what we did. We made disposable beauty and barber products and some industrial wipes. So he came over.
Did your husband ever get a haircut up in Ishpeming where they'd put that little piece of toilet paper around his neck?
It's not toilet paper. It was wet strength.
My husband's from Valders.
Okay.
I think he'd be offended if you called him a Youper.
Sorry.
But in Valders, he used that. They put that.
Did they?
No, it's a state law. They have to. Anyway.
He got paid for every time one of those was used.
I did. But I will tell you my
True story.
But this is a better story. So I was at the chamber, met this guy. He goes, "Hey, you're in paper conference." Yeah, my brother and I got this business going. How's it going? Good. Anyway, he goes, "Can I come over take a tour?" So he came over, and I trusted him, and he took a tour. He got into paper converting a different product line, which is fine. There's a lot of that. Private jet. I said to my brother, "What the hell did we do wrong?"
Wow.
We did okay. He did great. Anyway, I just think I'll give credit to the networking for him and for me. I mean, he's a friend of mine, but. Anyway, there's a lot of opportunities once you join the chamber to meet other people and confirm that you're doing the right thing, or maybe
exactly. Well, and even the other thing we started offering with Connect Free now last year is health insurance. because you know how expensive it can be for a small business. So we have a new plan with Network Health that is for businesses from 2 to 99 employees, and they get a 5% premium discount, 3 months free administrative credit, and a whole bunch of other perks. So it is a really cost-effective plan. So those are the other things that a chamber can do as well. It's not just like the networking and the gathering, but it's the resources and the tools and the connections.
That's awesome.
Get Dr. K. They give him free Ozempic.
Exactly.
That would bring them in.
I mean, right. I just think that you talk about those opportunities. I want to talk a little bit more about the events that you have. And I've, like Johnny, I've been to some of those. I mean, you bring in great speakers, and that Oktoberfest thing is, you actually engage the participant and their employees, but the families too.
Yeah, I mean, Oktoberfest, it's not, people think, oh, it's a big drinking party. No, it's not.
Right.
A big chunk, we have a huge family fun area that has kids just packed all day long. We have 180 craft vendors lining half of College Avenue. There's only a section of it that is music and drinking. And honestly, when we look at our numbers this year, the beer consumption went down. Our attendance numbers were up.
We're sorry we weren't there. We missed this year. No, go ahead. What I want to underscore how entrepreneurs work really, really hard. I mean, everything from painting the bathrooms, besides the product they have, and all the sales calls. And to join the chamber is going to keep you won't feel guilty. You're still kind of doing business, but you're having more fun.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. That is perfect.
You know, one of the things, though, too, with your area there, and when you talk about Fox Cities, I mean, obviously, in Green Bay, we've got that, too. We've got the De Peers, we've got the Ashwaubenons, we've got the Bellevues, and we've got the Swamicos, and, you know, for Northeast Wisconsin, whatever thing. But each one of your, and having lived there and worked there, each one has such pride in itself, but yet doesn't seem to be the competition amongst these other communities that maybe we've had here a little bit, Jim, with the city and some other areas. You know what I'm saying? What? It seems like you guys have that good hometown pride, but you're okay working with the whole bunch. You play well with others. That's what I'm saying.
It's all for the greater good, right? You got to work together. Right, Jim?
And that's not a natural.
Hey, we tried.
Hey, I have questions for you guys.
Yeah, I got some for you, too. Todd, do we have anything to give away? Any prize packages?
Yeah, I mean, how are you going to do this?
Because I'm going to throw out some high schools for her. We need somebody who wants to play, and I'm going to give her a quiz on something UP related, and that person will win if she gets it wrong.
All right, let's do this.
Yeah.
We will play that second.
Yes.
We'll do her questions first.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, sure. Hers are a lot more.
That'll give people a chance. That'll give people a chance to text in.
They actually are more relevant.
Okay.
Here we go.
All right, let's go.
Here we go.
And these are questions from the survey.
Okay.
So, true or false? Chambers are a government agency.
False.
Good. What percentage of respondents said they are more likely to purchase from a business that is a chamber member? 70, 64, 53, or 41?
64.
Oh, good job.
Thank you.
1-1 right now.
True or false? Chambers are affiliated with a political party.
False.
Okay.
I think Jim got that one.
Oh,
2-1.
Totally, I did.
Okay. How many members does the Fox Cities Chamber have? 1,220, 984, 1624, or 1745?
1624.
My God, how'd you guys know that?
Because it's usually it's not the top one, it's usually the second one. We did a lot of multiple guest tests. That's how we.
That's why I got 20. That's why I got 23 in my ACT.
I got 22. I went with a higher one.
Okay, how many of those are small businesses at the Connect Free level?
90%.
765, 899, 350, or 498?
498.
Nope.
What do they get? I'll take the highest one. I'll take the highest one.
No. It was 765. Nearly 50% of our membership is Connect Free. Small businesses.
Nice.
All right, John, how many Youpers work at the Fox Cities Chamber?
2 that I know
of. Nice.
Nice. Okay, so first person to text with us. What do we got that prize package?
We got tickets to go see American English.
They're a good
the
band.
Beatles thing.
Very good.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So let's do this. We'll go to a break, and then we'll come back and play the contest with Laura.
Okay. It's high school mascots from the UP.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
Here he is. Somebody's going to that show for free. All right. Hey, everything else going good for you guys?
They are. They're going great.
Outstanding.
It's going to be a great year.
A quick break. Back up this.
it's just a one-night stand. If there's a rock and roll heaven, well, you know they got a hell of a band.
Did you ever?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Hey, ESPN did a story on the Waters meet Nimrods years ago.
They did a whole series?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Jim, apparently that's a touchy subject.
Yeah,
Did
it
you get
is.
called that a lot in school, Jim?
Well, I'm very sensitive. I would not. See, we were Jets.
Jimmy the Nimrod.
Nah, man. We were the Jets. Fly high.
Ironwood.
Can't you do anything
Red
closer than
Devils.
Ishburn?
Oh,
Oh, there you go. The Red Devils.
The Red Devils. It's like East.
Westwood.
Patriots.
Wow. Give it
Ishburn Hematites.
Wow.
Nagani Miners. Kingsford Flivers.
Marquette. Do you know what Marquette?
Redmond.
No.
Was the Redmond, but what is it now?
Sentinels.
Oh, that's stupid.
I know.
Okay. And then who is the one?
Manistee Emeralds.
Escanaba Eskimos.
Eskimo. Yeah, very good.
Yeah, I know
All right.
those.
You're coming back.
Thank you.
Calumet.
Oh, I should know that one. That's where my brother lives up there.
Copper Kings.
Ooh.
Huh? Okay.
Lake Linden. He was the superintendent at Lake Linden School District.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, that's neat.
So that was it. Lake Linden. Do you know?
I don't know that one. No.
Lakes? I think it's the lakes.
Hey, you want to have a good time? Have two Yoopers sit together.
Yeah,
and talk
well,
about
I'm
nicknames.
sensing that.
Two Yoopers went into a bar.
Let's see. I'm almost done with my solitary game here.
Hey, you know what's funny? I ran into a guy from Ishpeming. Jim and I were doing a bartending thing. And a guy was there from Ishpeming.
Oh, how fun.
Yes.
Okay.
And I said, he said, hey, you ever go to the bars in Ishpeming where I'm from? I said, Thursday nights, going to the Roosevelt, it was jumbo night, where they'd give you a 40 for $5, a big 40 ounce, and it was also women's pool league night. So you'd have some tough broads drinking 40 ounces. Yeah,
And
the
then-
Roosevelt.
Wow.
Remember that one? Wasn't that
I
Gigs?
remember.
That was
I
Gagliardi's
remember.
place, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
Gigs Gagliardi.
Oh my God, that's
That,
a blast
that
from the
reminds me.
past.
We're driving around on Mother's Day, and there was a marquee in front of like a bar. We weren't up there, but it was like free shots for mom. You know what I mean? That's like his
absolutely.
I would have loved that gift.
The 40 ounce and free pool. Wow.
Absolutely.
Anyway, hey, the chamber. Let's just look. You've been around for 150 years. Nothing. That's unbelievable. I mean, 150 years is your city's probably only 80?
Yeah, it's not much beyond that.
No.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
cool that the chamber's there. The people who serve on the chamber board, how does one get involved in wanting to be on the board or be a leader?
Yeah, so we have people who ask to be on the board. I feel it's a very prestigious thing, and we want people. First of all,
I would say most boards, people ask to be on the board. So, I mean, that's not uncommon, especially something like the Packer board or the chamber
right,
board.
something big like that. But honestly, we want diversity and representation. And I'm not, yes, in, say, color of your skin, but we need it across all industries. We want to make sure there's, Nina, Menasha, Kimberly, Appleton. So we want community. We want age group. Back in the day, we've talked about this last time I was on the show, it was all men, and it was all a bunch of old white men. We don't want that. We want age we want Pulse Young Professionals on there, which is like 40 and under. And we have that. And so we have a matrix that we use to determine our areas of need, and community leaders as well. People who aren't just going to sit there and show up and not make an impact. So you have to want to make an impact.
I think you make a good point with diversity, geographical diversity. You also want economic diversity.
Yep.
I mean, somebody who
Yep.
kind of grew up maybe third generation wealth is not the same person as starting a sub shop on Main Street. You know what I mean? And you need to get both of them to say, look, we can work together and we're all in this.
Yeah.
So I think that's great that you.
And they bring
that's a
different
priority.
perspections too.
Do they? Yeah, I mean,
like
they really do.
like a Myron Construction has a different perspective than nutritional healing, which
Right.
is great. We need that. We don't want to just have blinders on when
I
we
hope
make
my
decisions.
good friends Wild Goose Store is still going well on College Avenue.
Yeah, I don't know. I know that's
They sell the
Massey,
used
Aiden
yeah.
Massey. Yeah,
Kim,
He was up
Kim
to
and
it.
Aiden. Yeah, good people.
Yeah. What is Kim up to these days?
Works for an organization that helps veterans get jobs.
Oh, good for her.
Perfect job for her.
It is.
But it's a
It
really
is.
cool
She's awesome.
store selling vintage clothes.
I haven't
It's
been
cool.
in there yet.
Oh, it's awesome. You got to stop it. By the way, when
Okay.
you said men, was that from the old song?
Men.
There's men above. Oh, I thought that was the old song. There's men above and men below, and some down in the galley. Butch and Bill and Mike and Spike, and one guy we call.
No,
You never remember that?
I've
It's a
never
ship
heard
off
One of the two
that.
songs he sang right on key. That was good, John.
So how many? So there's two people at the chamber that are Yoopers.
Yes,
So it's you and.
and our CEO Becky.
So would
They're probably
Becky
like-
come in and do a contest with you on Youper trivia?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Let's be honest. She's from the city. She's from the big city. Because
Yeah,
she
like
lived
Gladstone,
she lived in
Escanaba area.
Escanaba.
Yep.
To us, that was a city.
I'll ask her.
Hey, Laura Wiegert, Fox Valley,
Yeah,
or
congrats.
Fox Cities, Chamber
you,
of
thank
Commerce.
you.
Thank you for coming in. Thanks for all the great things you do for our community.
thank
And
you.
we are really proud to be on the station in Appleton. We are very happy
Woo-hoo!
about that.
Yep, Todd
Love
said
it.
he's going to join the chamber.
You got it.
Nice. All right, we're out of time. Fun show.
Great show.
Fantastic guest. Back in tomorrow morning, Maino the Mayor. See ya.